Alright, I think we're live. What's up, everyone? Are we live? Alright, yeah, I think we're live. I'll just wait a sec. One viewer, what's everyone saying? Probably gonna check out a bunch of altcoins I don't have time for today. DXY is hella bullish. Chop chop nation for the altcoins. Alright, what's everyone saying? Buongiorno. It looks like a lot of these altcoins are about to capitulate, in my opinion. Solana looks like it's about to head down. Sol BTC is heading down strong as well after our pump today. Which altcoins are doing the best? Yeah, already some of these have started to tick into the red. It was all green this morning. Quant's getting beaten up. Yeah, Quant's had one of the nastiest rejections. ELON, yo, what's up, Dominic? ELON's doing okay on the day. I don't think macro anything's changed though. In fact, you've just retested your 786 and it looks like you're having a rejection. Yeah, let me zoom out a bit more. I don't think I've ever really looked at ELON on the weekly or the monthly. I just noticed you've got a huge M pattern on the weekly. I'm not really interested about price targets. I'm going to take the conservative one. We would have already reached it, and to be fair, we're probably coming up for the candle body close anyway. I do think ELON looks bearish. I think pretty much every altcoin at this moment in time looks like it needs to go down another level or so. 4 hourly time frame. You literally just got rejected. You just put in, well, I mean, technically if we stick around this region, we might have a chance of going up, but all I see is lower highs all in this market structure. Doesn't look good for ELON. Trend is definitely your friend on this one. Volume coming in the past 8 hours since a lot of the altcoins have topped out. 1 hourly time frame. Volume definitely stepping in. 1 hourly time frame is basically on the cusp of a decision. If we break down on the hourly, then we're probably going to massively capitulate and wipe out all the gains we made today. What's up, Leeds? I'm torn to sell or keep holding. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Hey, Ben Grace. What's up, bro? What's up? 4.9k. Oh, yeah, 4.9k. Yeah, we're coming right for 5k. We're coming right for 5k. I'm shorting right now. Might as well play both sides. Yeah, I think we're somewhere near the bottom for all of these markets, but I don't think the bottom is in. I do think we need to have at least one last capitulation. I've been looking at a lot of the altcoins today. First of all, where's my momentum indicators gone? I've got 2 volume indicators for some reason. I don't have the squeeze mom. What? I swear it's on here. Maybe I just need to refresh. There we go. It was literally on, but it didn't recognize. Yeah, it looks like Bitcoin's heading down now as well. I mean, you know, technically speaking, we could do something like this, inverse head and shoulder out. But I think you look at the higher time frames, you know, we're clearly in this kind of March 2020 huge type capitulation type beat. I mean, it looks like we're heading down. BTC, USD as well. I mean, we came up, I think on the daily, we came up, no, we didn't actually make it up that high. We came up to 31,000, and now we're getting torn all the way back down to 29,000. It seems like the price is just being magnetized to 29. I almost feel like we could put in one bullish week of momentum on Bitcoin and the altcoins, but I still think the general move, depending on, you know, we could move straight down to it. We could chop up to 34 and then, you know, chop everyone up, spit them back out, come back down to 200 week moving average. I'm definitely not in altcoins while we're in this big capitulation event. I'm pretty much playing both sides right now. I've been shorting some things. I've been shorting Luna. Luna has just been free money. I need to load up Luna. I think the problem is it's been removed on most exchanges. It's back on Binance now. When I checked this earlier, it was removed. I don't see Coinbase on here anymore. Oh, no. No. It seems like the list of places that this is listed on is completely diminished. And depending on where you're looking at the price for Luna, Luna's either at like 2 cents or it's you know, fractions of a cent. This was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Are we even doing anything, or is it just bled out and it's dying? I'm trying to zoom in. I'm zooming in on the 5 minute time frame, but it's just completely dead. I think it's dead. I've been saying this in the Discord. Okay, here we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. We have to zoom in, but yeah. I mean, I really think Luna's dead. People have been asking me today and yesterday whether they should buy the dip. I personally would not touch this. I wouldn't be surprised if it did something crazy, but to me, the risk-adjusted returns on this one is just, it's not the one. I mean, you're basically setting up to be exit liquidity if you're trying to do this. I mean, oh my days. I have to zoom out so hard. To be fair, I made a video on Luna this morning, and I said I probably wouldn't cover this again, so you know, I probably shouldn't cover this. I'm pretty much kicking a dead horse at this moment in time. Do you think we'll get bullish heading into June? When is June? So May, April, May, June. I don't know about as soon as June. I think, in my opinion, we really have some type of choppy beats going on. I think if you look back in the previous cycles, we're in some type of capitulation event, and I think we're in this type of event where, you know, you look back at 2017, the 2018 bull market, it was very clear that we were in a downtrend and we were about to enter a bull market. I mean, we went from huge uptrending level of support like this to having a huge level of downtrending resistance like this, and we kept the floor, which is what, you know, kind of tricked a lot of people. But the number one interesting thing about this is Bitcoin in 2017 held its floor, but you come over to the altcoin market and the altcoin market didn't. The altcoins were heading down the entire time, and people were just selling, or at least this is my hypothesis, because I mean, it makes sense. People were selling their altcoins into Bitcoin during the bear market, and that's why we saw, you know, you come over to the total crypto market cap. This is obviously including the altcoin market. You know what? I might as well exclude Bitcoin from that. We'll check out total too, so we can actually exactly see what happened in the altcoin market. So this is the altcoin market, or more specifically, this is the total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin. And you can see back in this 2017 capitulation, you know, it was lower lows, lower highs. We were clearly channeling down and the altcoins were bleeding out. But you check out what Bitcoin was doing. Bitcoin was holding support. on this level here, basically $6,000. It was holding it for the good part from November 2017 to November 2018. This was a 1 year trending, you know, holding the exact same lows. I feel like we're in some type of situation like that, where this wick that we've seen that has just recently been bought up is probably going to do something like this. I feel like in the next month we're going to be at the bottom, but you know, these bottoms, they take time. I mean, we're on the weekly time frame. This took from the capitulation wick, it was 19 bars worth of data, which is 133 days from the capitulation wick. So I could imagine 133 days, something like this, where, you know, we might take our time, we might come down to it and then blast out. But I think we're going to chop around for the next few weeks, come down to these lower price targets, and then it's going to be boring chop accumulation for the next year or so. I mean, bear in mind, the next Bitcoin halving is like just less than 2 years away. So I feel like we're probably going to have a cool-off phase. I don't necessarily think we're going to get super bullish in the next couple of months. I would like to do marketing for your channel. What do you mean by marketing for my channel? What's up, Sad Pepe? I hope you're not too sad today. It's a RIP day for the markets. Cowboy, what's up, my bro? What's up, Superman? Wanted to ask, why would they have brought Luna back to Binance? I heard something on Twitter that I think CZ tweeted something about that. I imagine that CZ and Luna have probably had a conversation that the rest of us are not privy to. So if we check out CZ Binance's page, let's see, what's he been talking about? Was in a no phone meeting for 2 hours at least. There is progress. Luna blockchain resumed. No more minting, and deposits, withdrawals, and trading resumed. Trading is important for existing holders. Please do not buy a coin just because it's trading is on. Do your own research. Extreme caution. So yeah, I mean, CZ basically confirmed it. He was in a meeting. I imagine this was with, what's his name again? His name is all over. I just keep forgetting his name. The owner or CEO of Luna. He's basically like one of the most hated men in the world right now. But yeah, it seems like CZ from Binance has had a conversation with Luna. I imagine Luna's probably talked to Binance about a way that they can fix this this issue. Do you think? Do you follow BTC stock to flow model, or do you think it's invalidated by now? Duquan, before we get into that, yeah, it is Duquan. Is this guy on Twitter? Let me copy paste that. I might as well show my Twitter while I'm here, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's over here, at 618_cowboy. I say this all the time, I really just shitpost, post memes, post NFTs and chart setups, so for some reason, if that is your type of Twitter, then at 618_cowboy is my Twitter. I don't think this guy has made an update in the past 2 days. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of the Binance CZ. If it is going to go up, I feel like it can go up from here. I mean, I definitely think it can go up, but I would personally really advise caution with buying Luna at this moment in time. I'm not buying Luna, I'm not buying UST. I've been saying this in all my videos, but I'm not buying altcoins at this moment in time while Bitcoin's in this capitulation phase. So, you know, Luna and UST are definitely not getting picked up. That's just my opinion. Do you follow the Bitcoin stock to flow model? I do follow it when I see other people post it, but I don't think I can find anywhere that has it without signing up for Glassnode Premium. And I hate signing up for things, so unless I can find it somewhere. It seems like, I think stock to flow has held up. Is this? Okay, so is this... Yeah, this is the stock to flow. I must have not checked it out in a couple of months or so, because it does seem like the stock to flow... yeah, I mean, I've never seen it this much capitulate below. I guess if we reverse at this point, then you can still consider it working, because these green phases down here, they always correlate to the bear market. So like you can see here, it does look like we are going into that bear market type move. But on all of your charts, every single logarithmic growth chart I've checked out, stock to flow growth charts, I mean, all these stock to flows, they use logarithmic growth scales anyway, but all of these log charts were very, very underwhelming this year. You can see, you know, the first top 2011 bull run came all the way up to the top of the oscillator. I mean, you can see down here, there's a mini chart which just tracks the oscillator of the logarithmic growth curves. You can see we topped out at 0.97. We topped out at 1.01, so we actually broke above the top of, you know, your max one deviation overbought. In this case, it looks like you poked your head above it as well, but it says, you know, you topped out on 1 on the oscillators. And then over here, this was your... I think we got more topped. We were more overbought when we first came up to your oscillators in the first peak, and we really only made it up to like 0.74, 0.75. So it's been very underwhelming of a cycle in terms of, you know, any chart, but logarithmic growth curves, it almost seems like we're very, very slowly bleeding out the side. The thing is with the logarithmic growth curves is they're literally fitted after each cycle. So, you know, for example, you know, they're retroactively fit. So after this cycle, it's probably going to be refit again once we have the bottom to make it, you know, more accurate to fit all the data. And the thing is with that is that it doesn't necessarily call the exact top or the bottom. It's just more of an indicator of where we are in the general markets. And as you can see, we're capitulating below the bottom oscillator, 1 deviation oversold. So, you know, Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves completely seem like they've fallen out of the floorboards. Bitcoin stock to flow as well seems like it's fallen out of the floorboards. But like I said, this will be retroactively fit once the bottom is in, once it's confirmed to be the bottom. Like, you know, if we have a bottom, we head up for like a year or so, we start pushing up, they'll just retroactively fit it again, so it accounts for this again. I think a lot of people got a little bit too bullish, thinking that stock to flow was going to head to like 100,000 or so. Maybe we didn't account for enough diminished returns. Obviously, there's diminished returns within these markets because, you know, you come back on the logarithmic growth curve scale, and it's hard to see that you've got diminished returns on the logarithmic growth curves. But the first bull run, look how much we went up, and I mean, we clearly didn't go up that much in either of these bull runs. I mean, you can definitely see here there's diminished returns after every cycle low. So yeah, it seems like we didn't fit it well enough, because it does look like we are heading down. And like I said, I really think the situation that we're in right now, it doesn't seem like we can... I mean, if I draw it something like this, then you can at least argue that this kind of triangle that we're converging in is very similar to this triangle. They haven't played out to the teeth. I always feel like the data doesn't, you know, copy itself exactly, but, you know, you can find a lot of times where it does copy over, and it does seem like we have broken through. If I take out this floor, you can see this would have been the triangle, excluding the wicks, and we've already capitulated. So I really feel like we're somewhere like here, and I do think Bitcoin needs to go lower. But yeah, stock to flow looks like it's lagged behind a little bit and failed. Duquan, what's up, my man? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, my man, Jeff. How you doing? Sad Pepe, I'm good. Just took profits on Solana. Might get back in when there's lower prices. I've literally done the exact same, my man. I sold Solana. Very unfortunate. I still have a very, very small amount in staking compared to what I previously had. And I still have my Solana NFTs. I sold my DGen Ape. I have my profile picture on YouTube is an NFT of the Bounty Hunter Space Guild. And also I've got 2 degenerate trash pandas. I'm going to hold those forever. I don't care what price they go to. My YouTube profile pic is so cool in my opinion. I really couldn't care if it went to like 1 cent or if it went to like $100,000. I probably just wouldn't sell it. But yeah. Thanks for the info. You're a champion, my bro. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Can you look at Gala? Yeah, we'll quickly check out Gala. What's the time? I don't have as long as the previous stream. I wanted to stream because I'm going to be going out tonight, so I'm not going to have a plethora of time to make all the videos that I normally did, so this is a great way I can get them all done. Answer your questions, any altcoin requests, now's the best time. So Gala's also having a bounce. There's a decent amount of volume coming on Gala today. Before I get excited, because I'm definitely not excited either way, but I want to see if there's other projects that have had this volume in the day. So Apes had a decent amount of volume. File, meh. VeChain, meh. Theta Fuel, meh. Theta, meh. KDA, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think some of these altcoins, Luna we're going to exclude because Luna is in a bit of a madness right now. Waves, people are buying up Waves right now. RIP to them in the next couple of days when it goes to like $2. But yeah, Waves is losing volume. VPad's run out of fuel, no more volume. To be fair, a lot of these have a lot of volume coming in, so I wouldn't say Gala's special in any way in what we're seeing today. I talked about how if we check out, I made a few videos today on my altcoins, and I highlighted how if we zoom out and we go back to the altcoins of 2017 when they were in these capitulation events, you can see that, you know, sometimes we do have these volume spikes, even if they are quite underwhelming over here. There was definitely a lot of less capital in the markets back there, so you need to take that with a grain of salt as well. But you know, we do have these days where we bounce, you know, markets head up and up and up. You can really see that, you know, you did not need volume at all to move the markets back here. 150% pump, and there was more red volume than green volume. So yeah, I would be, like I said, I would be cautious with trading any altcoins right now. I think they are all going to go down against their Bitcoin pairs. I've never checked out Gala BTC. I don't need to check it out to know that it's bearish though. Gala BTC on Binance, we'll check that out in just 1 second. So zooming out, daily time frame, we recently broke below this previous accumulation range. This was also where I had my Fibonacci from low to high, which, I mean, we haven't invalidated it yet, but we're pretty much on the cusp of invalidating this entire uptrend for Gala. I really do think Gala ran off a lot of hype. I have no idea whether it's you know, gaming token has great fundamentals or not. I'm purely basing this on the charts, but you know, fundamentals do not matter in a bear market. I was here in 2017. I can tell you blue chip cryptos go down 95%. The shitcoins, they go down to 0. It's just how it is. So I guess we'll see. Is Gala a shitcoin, or is it got good fundamentals? Like I said, I've never checked out fundamentals on Gala, so I would not be able to answer that. I'm purely looking at this from the technicals, and technicals, you are extremely bearish. Since you topped out all-time high, you can see daily EMA ribbons flip bearish, been a perfect indicator of the trend. You can try and flip above the EMA ribbons, but until you break above the invalidation point, it's done for. So you can see sometimes, you know, you can rally, you can backtest, you can come up, but unless you take out this high, it's still bearish. Gala on the daily time frame, exceptionally bearish. You're below your 200 EMA. Well, you're below every single EMA, to be honest. Unless I go to like the 1 second time frame, and you can see that we're in a bull trend in like the past couple of minutes or so. But you know, 4 hourly as well. 4 hourly pretty well defines the downtrend since we had the all-time high, at least since the 5th of April. So going on for more than a month now, we've been in a solid downtrend. 4 hourly EMA is just getting battered against. And it seems like we've recently come into these today, and we've had another breakdown. I'm not bullish on altcoins right now. I do feel like Gala's going to come down potentially to the 3.9 cent. That would be another 57% drop or so. You can see this correlates to the highs down here. And the problem is we do not have a plethora of data traded below these points, so it's pretty much price discovery to the downside on Gala. Yeah, 4 hourly, this rejection could be getting more brutal. In a broader scale of why all the altcoins are bearish right now, we need to check out the dollar and the stock market, because you can see the dollar made a new all-time high 4 hours ago, and people are still on Twitter saying, should I buy the dip on Solana, should I buy the dip on KDA, should I buy the dip on these Dogecoins, while the dollar is, I say all-time high, but the dollar's breaking above the local high. You know, if we want the all-time high, I have to go back like 5-10 years that direction, but yeah, the dollar looks exceptionally bullish. I think the Federal Reserve is increasing the interest rate, so the price, the cost of borrowing money is going to increase and increase and increase, and then the value of the dollar is going to go up. I know that's a mouthful to say, you know, the value of the dollar going up, but you know, in theory, the Federal Reserve makes it more expensive to borrow dollars, then the value of it obviously goes up because it's more valuable. It costs more to get it, and as you can see, US dollar index going up. While the US dollar index is going up, while the Federal Reserve is increasing the interest rates, I think the altcoins are going to be in a huge bear market. So I would not be looking at buying any altcoins right now. That does go for Gala as well. Altcoin market cap as well, having a huge rejection from the 4 hourly EMAs. So obviously this will affect not only Gala, but also all of your altcoins. The altcoin market cap has just broken horrendously bearish. You know, we're below the macro 786 at this point. You're below your macro 618, and you know, you can draw it all the way back here, but kind of a bit of a stretch. I would have it drawn to here. So yeah, altcoins are very bearish right now. You just need to look at the chart, look at the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance looks like it's heading up. So this just means that your altcoins are probably going to get decimated. Oh shit, we got loads of comments now. Alright, 1 second. Do you see Dogelon talking about cryptos that... oh, did you see him talk about cryptos that failed 2 weeks ago? He did an interview saying it's entertaining to see them fail. No, I did not see that interview, but that is karma at its finest. It is never funny to see a crypto falling. You know, while we like to make jokes and poke fun on this channel, it's not fun. You know, remember, people lost their life savings in Luna, so yeah, not good to see this dropping. If that is true, and Dogelon said that it's funny to see cryptos fail, then you know, he wholeheartedly deserves that. I did see the video. I'm not sure if it's him though, because like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard of Dogelon until like 2 days ago. So you know, obviously everyone's talking about Dogelon now. I'd never heard of him before in my entire life, like 2 days ago, but I did see him saying that 99% of stablecoins or 99% of cryptos are going to fail, and then like a day or so later UST loses its peg and the rest is history. So yeah, very sad. I still hold ApeCoin though. I might get more. Best of luck with that. Hey man, you're doing beautiful work, appreciate that my friend. Have you found something interesting in whole crypto that is really worth to look at and buy the dip? Yes, I have. Bitcoin. That is my only answer. My only answer for buying the dip right now is Bitcoin. I made a video, I think yesterday or the day before, where we went through every single altcoin pair. We went through, you know, Solana, ApeCoin. I don't know if we went through ApeCoin, but we looked at every single altcoin pair against Bitcoin. I'm just going to use Solana for example. If you want me to check out more altcoin pairs, then feel free to just leave a comment down below and I'll check it out. But this is basically every altcoin chart right now. And why is this important? You can see, you know, altcoins topped out in the massive alt season back here, and ever since then they've been chopping, but now they're breaking below very macro levels. So for example, Solana against Bitcoin, if I draw it out on the macro scale, you can see our uptrend started, we've got a rally, bouncing around a bit. You know, you held your 0.5 Fibonacci, so that's something that's very, very bullish. And that is why, you know, we came back up to these highs. We came down, and this is where it gets interesting. You came all the way down to your 618 Fibonacci. As long as you're above your 618 Fib, your trend is macro bullish. We came up to the 382 Fibonacci right here. We got rejected. We fell below the 0.5. We fell below the 0.618. And now we're down at the 786 at the last leg. So basically every altcoin against Bitcoin right now is getting absolutely slaughtered. So I'm not looking to buy any altcoins whatsoever. I mean, if you went on my Twitter, once again, I might as well shout out my Twitter. It's at 618_cowboy. If you do want to follow me. But if I scroll down, you know, I've been saying this in the Discord for a while now, but we started talking about this on Twitter, and we said this, you know, I said this 3 days ago. I love being a moon boy when things are bullish, but looking at things objectively, the dollar is super bullish. Since then, we've made new all-time highs, so it's even worse. I said the stock market looks bearish, and altcoin holders are going to get slaughtered, and since then, you can see, you know, the 10th, we said this on the 10th, you know, Solana's down 20% against Bitcoin. So because I've sold my Solana, this means if I want to buy my Solana back now, I can buy it back for a 20% discount. And I do not think that is where, you know, the apex of the dip is going to come in. I could imagine Solana becoming a lot cheaper against Bitcoin. The same with Gala, the same with ETH, the same with all of the altcoins. So my simple answer to that is the only thing I'm buying right now, the only thing I'm interested in DCAing whatsoever is Bitcoin. I think altcoins can get absolutely slaughtered against Bitcoin. Sad. Have you seen Gala? Yeah, we literally just checked that out like maybe 2 minutes ago. Oh, Indian Kitchen, yo, how are you doing? I'm doing good, thanks, Indian Kitchen. How are you doing, my friend? First time in the live stream, feels good. Yeah, it's good. This is our second live stream. I feel like I'll live stream whenever I'm too busy to, you know, do all my normal recordings, or I'll live stream whenever there's something important going on in the markets. And what I can tell right now is a lot of these altcoins have had, in my opinion, a dead cat bounce. And you zoom into these time frames, and you can see, you know, we're already rolling down from your 4-hourly EMA ribbons, while the dollar is setting up a bullish retest and breaking out. So yeah, like I've been saying, altcoins can get a lot more bloody from here. Bought 5 million Luna for $500. It's like gambling in Vegas. Still believe it will go up. Your odds of buying, you know, Luna and winning the lottery and it mooning are a lot higher than going and gambling in Vegas. So, you know, you do you. I always feel like, you know, when people say, you know, the odds of winning the lottery is like hundreds of millions against you, but, you know, you'd have a better chance of winning the lottery if you just put $100 in like every Dogecoin. So yeah, I mean, might not be the worst idea, but I'm personally not touching Luna. Why did Gala jump so high? Well, if we come over to the 4-hourly time frame for the dollar, for the past 24 hours, the dollar's been having a correction after it broke out. And obviously, altcoin holders are no offense, but altcoin holders are degenerates, and they only need to see, you know, the dollar take like a 12-hour nap for them to get super bullish again. Because the US dollar index had a correction over the past 12 hours, if we come over to the stock market, everything was able to open bullish. But now we're starting to already lose a bit of momentum. You can see Facebook is up on the day, Tesla opened higher, but now it's coming down. Google opened higher, now it's coming down. SPY is opening higher, now it's coming down. Nasdaq's open higher, now it's coming down. SPX open higher, now it's coming down. Gold is going down, not that anyone cares what's going on with gold. Microsoft open higher, going down. This is a recurring theme. I mean, Netflix doing the same, Apple doing the same, Airbnb doing the same. So, you know, Gala had a rally because the dollar took a nap, and that allowed the stock market to rally a couple of percent. And obviously, because the stock market rallied a couple of percent, altcoin holders were just like, you know, the bottom's in, now it's time to DCA. So everyone's been DCAing the altcoin market, everything's going up, and I feel like in a week's time we're going to do something like this and we're going to capitulate. And I could be wrong, like obviously I don't have a crystal ball, I'm not going to get everything right, but in my opinion, the warning signs are there. The warning signs are very, very prominent. So I'd be all in on Bitcoin at this moment in time. MMF, is that a crypto, or I don't know what that is. Did Gala jump so high? Doesn't seem much different from the others. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Gala did. Oh, to be fair, Gala's up 34%, which it had a lot of volume coming in, to be honest. Out of all the ones that I've looked at today, Gala's had the most amount of volume coming in. And from the opening, it did go up 63%. So, you know, it does seem like Gala was probably one of the top movers today. I think ApeCoin was up a lot earlier as well, but, you know, like I said, they're already capitulating, at least in the smaller time frames. And then higher time frames as well. I mean, I don't need to point it out, but we're in a huge downtrend, so it seems like Gala did have a pretty big bounce, to be honest. Drop a like for my man. Appreciate it, Jeff. Appreciate it. Any opinion on H-bar? What opinion from a technical perspective or from a fundamental perspective? I don't know anything about H-bar from a fundamental perspective, I'm not going to lie. I've only ever checked it out from a technical perspective, or I think I've heard a bit about H-bar. Oh yeah, no, I have. This is the super fast blockchain, right? Like lower fees than Solana, faster than Solana, and isn't this like the it's either H-bar or Hex that you have to like, or people stake it for like years and years at a time, like years worth of lockups. Is that H-bar or is that Hex? Like I said, I'm a straight shooter. I just say it how it is. I've only ever checked out the charts on this. I know nothing about the fundamentals. So if you wanna drop me some alpha, if this is a good project, then yeah, feel free to let me know. But H-bar is doing the same as everything. H-bar is not being an outlier at all today, up 14%. Daily time frame seems very obvious. We just keep getting rejected from the same EMA ribbons. Super bearish on H-bar. At least in the short term. It does look like we want to come back down to these lows. I could imagine H-bar getting chopped up at least another 50% before we're near a bottom. And like I said, I don't know about the fundamentals of H-bar. All I want to say is that there's a lot of altcoins that came out this year that are riding trends, and a lot of people came to my channel from things like Green Metaverse Token, Green Satoshi Token, and FitFi. And the problem with these is they're great at making money in a bull market, but when you come into a bear market, these projects that didn't innovate, that didn't provide anything of value to the crypto ecosystem, they're going to disappear. So I don't think any of these move to earns are really going to be around. I would imagine at least one makes it. I'd imagine at this moment in time it's a fight between FitFi and Green Metaverse Token as to which one makes it. But a lot of these cryptos, they're just building on hype from previous cycles, and I talked about this in my videos earlier, but you know, you've got things like Monero and Zcash. There was a huge wave of privacy coins in the end of 2017. No one wanted to innovate, no one wanted to improve smart contract capabilities on blockchains, no one wanted to implement, you know, NFTs, no one wanted to do anything different than the norm. All the hype was just copy a project, copy paste, slap it in a PowerPoint or whatever, change the profile pic, change a few words in the white paper, and bada bing, bada boom, you've got a new cryptocurrency. And all of those cryptos, you know, you've got Zcash is one of the #1 examples of that. It just falls off the face of the earth. So these projects that don't innovate, I would be, you know, hard-fetched to believe that they would still be around. Solana NFTs, what is the marketplace? I'll show you a few. So you've got Solana art. This is one of my favorite Solana NFT marketplaces. This is probably the one I trust the most as well. I'll also show you Magic Eden, but they are trustworthy, but they post a lot of derivatives, a lot of scams. So buying something on Solana art is going to be, you know, a lot better. So, you know, I previously held one of these Degenerate Ape Academies, and also I'll show you my YouTube profile pic. But yeah, this is Bounty Hunter Space Guild. I just like it for the art, but you'll see this is from the same, my YouTube profile pic is the same project as this. But yeah, these are cool. I love these Degen Trash Pandas as well. Pretty cool art. And then you've got Magic Eden. Like I said, this is your second most popular Solana NFT marketplace. It is pretty cool as well. There's definitely more stuff you can find on here. Like, I would kind of say it as Solana art is like your Coinbase, and Magic Eden is like your Binance. You're going to get a lot of rug pulls, a lot of scams listed on Magic Eden, but you've got more choice if you did want to go out and explore. So yeah, those are the two main marketplaces on the Solana ecosystem. Are you going to upload this live? What do you mean upload this live? I mean, we're live streaming now, and after the stream is done, it will be posted on my channel. If you do want to check it out later, if you don't have time now. Are you looking for Solana around $20 to $25? That is pretty much around my price target, but like I said, I don't have any regions where I'm going to be buying in the market. I'm really going to be waiting until Bitcoin looks like it's had its bottom. I'm going to be waiting for the Bitcoin dominance to skyrocket. This is really what I'm looking for. If we come over to the Bitcoin dominance, I think the Bitcoin dominance, if we are in a bear market, if we are about to wipe out the altcoins like I think we are, then the Bitcoin dominance would need to do something like this, and I would not even consider even thinking about buying altcoins until we get into this kind of general region. So, you know, while my price targets are around $20 to $25 for Solana, if Solana goes to like $15 and we're only at like 50% market cap dominance for Bitcoin, then I wouldn't be touching it. Like I said, I trade based on the data, and looking at the data, I would be waiting for Bitcoin dominance to head up first. Let's see, we've lost. We've lost where we were. H-bar Sleeping Giant, yeah, H-bar. I don't know. I don't know what H-bar is, but can you check out crypto.com? Yeah, I will. Thanks for doing KDA. No worries, Indian Kitchen, my friend. Cadena. Luna is my new biggest bag. Oh god, Merlin. Yeah, we'll quickly check out crypto.com before we jump into it. Crypto.com, I mean, not doing anything different from what the other altcoins are doing, really. We hit our we hit our first price target from the other day. We've obviously included a new price target down here at 14 cent. I'm pretty bearish on crypto.com right now. Not only is every altcoin plummeting, so even if crypto.com had good fundamentals, it would be plummeting as well. But crypto.com has changed the fundamentals of the crypto.com Visa cards, and I know because myself, I had one of the crypto.com Visa cards. The only reason I ever held crypto.com is because I wanted their Visa cards, and I've got two friends that also know about crypto.com, and they both bought a crypto.com Visa card so they could get cash back and etc, etc. And now that nobody gets any of that, which is one of the reasons why I sold all of my crypto.com, I sold it all the way up here at like 33 cent, and I said I might buy it back if I've got like a 50%, 75% discount, because at that point the card might be worth it again to me. But you know, it's basically a card with free Netflix, free Spotify, and you know, a couple of percent cashback, which is just not worth it at all in my opinion. So like I said, crypto.com at 10 cent, might consider getting my card back, but like I've been saying, I'm waiting for the Bitcoin dominance to go up. Until that goes up, I really wouldn't be buying altcoins. And also crypto.com on the 4 hour, you can see EMA ribbons perfectly call it. Since if we come up to the daily time frame, you can see we were making a bunch of videos of it here, talking about how important it is to get over this orange box. And I know there's a lot of lines on the screen right now. If I clear some of them up for you, you might be able to see what I'm talking about better. But you've got your 618 Fibonacci from the lows. This is when the Matt Damon ad started playing. We rallied all the way up here. You can see 618 here. Or is that the 786? No, it is. No, I'm talking about this box here. So 618 there. You draw it to the candle body close. You can see we've got another 618 there. So now you know where that is. You can see this big box was super important for Crypto.com to break above, and since we came back in, back tested, got double top, double rejected from your 618, and you broke below your 786, the trend is textbook invalidated. So I do think we have a lot lower to go before Crypto.com has any bounces. 4 hourly time frame anyway, you can perfectly see every time we come back into it, get a perfect rejection and move lower. And I see absolutely nothing different now. Seems like Crypto.com is heading right down. Could we see a pump for Gala before the Galaverse event next month? Yeah. I mean, buy the rumor, sell the news seems to be a massive thing going on in the markets recently. All I see is, you know, you get these buy the rumor, sell the news type events where, for example, Axie Origins came out. Everyone was piling into Axie before Axie Origins released, and as soon as it released, you know, they did have the rug pull on the Ronin blockchain. I believe it was one of the biggest rug pulls that have ever happened, but it got completely rug pulled. That was one example of buy the rumor, sell the news. Recently, ApeCoin as well. When the land sale came out for ApeCoin, everyone rallied into it. As soon as the land came out, everyone sold off and capitulated. If we come over to FitFi, everyone was talking about staking. Everyone was talking about staking to earn shoes, blah, blah, blah. We rallied into it as soon as staking went live, which was here. Absolute landslide. So I would definitely advise a buy the rumor, sell the news type event on that, but in my opinion, now is not the right time to be buying rumors on altcoins, on, you know, them having upgrades coming out. And by rumors, I don't necessarily mean rumors because obviously it's confirmed, but I simply mean, you know, that people are buying into the hype of the news before it officially releases, and I think that that is going to be met with a drop in the markets. Everything so far, everything in the past couple of months as well. Solana OpenSea NFT integration as well. As soon as the OpenSea integration went live, it was done. You know, that was Solana's top round here, local top at least. And like I said, I think the dollar's bullish, I think the stock market's bearish, I think crypto's bearish, so I think that buying altcoins right now is probably not going to be the best idea. I bought JASMY. Should I keep holding or should I sell it at a loss? I can't give you financial advice on that one, unfortunately. Some monkey emojis from Ash Ketchup. Why do you look at the dollar? Because the dollar's a leading indicator of what happens in the stock market, and it's a leading indicator of what happens in the crypto market. So, for example, you can see the dollar has been rallying the past couple of days, and what happened on the 12th of May on this candle. So 12th of May at 19, if we come over to something like Solana, come over to the 4 hourlies, you can see 12th of May at 19 was roundabout here. So what happened once the dollar was taking a breather? All your altcoins start rallying. I mean, it's very evident that everything follows the dollar. It sucks, but you know, the dollar takes a breather, altcoins go for a rally, the dollar starts to break out, everything else breaks down. And I mean, you look at this on the daily time frame, what has the dollar been doing for the past week or so, since the 5th of May? The dollar's been in a huge rally. I mean, pick any, I'm going to scroll through and just click a random one. Boom, FTM. So what has the dollar been, what has FTM been doing since the 5th of May? Well, you can see this was the exact top for FTM on the 5th of May. Come over to JASMY. 5th of May, it was the top. Come over to Avalanche. 5th of May, it was the top. So everything follows the dollar. And it sucks. And it depends how you look at it as to whether it follows the dollar. The way that these things work, so for example, you could see the 5th of May is when we come back on the dollar. every altcoin started dumping at that moment in time. This was because the dollar was pumping. And now what are we seeing today? The dollar is taking a breather. And what's going on in the altcoin market today? Everyone's getting euphoric, everything's pumping. So the way these things go is, you know, the dollar makes a move and the stock market's inversely correlated to that. So you can see the dollar taking a breather today. Everything in the stock market is trying to rally while the dollar takes a breather. But then as soon as the dollar starts to rally again, everything's going to break down. And Bitcoin follows the stock market for the most part. So you can see the stock market's rallying, Bitcoin is rallying, and this is all because of what's going on in the dollar. So it's very important to keep an eye on what goes on the stock market. It's very important to keep an eye on what goes on in the dollar as well. I think I said that, the dollar and the stock market, very important. I appreciate your honesty and everything. Thank you, Stefan. I'm a straight shooter. That's why they call me Cowboy. Can you check CRO? I think we just checked CRO. I don't know if that was an old comment or not. US dollar has lost 99% of its buying power. It's lost 99.9999% of its buying power against Bitcoin as well. And Bitcoin is it's my currency of choice. So if the dollar has buying power and was backed by gold, the Fed wouldn't have to raise the rates. That is also true. But if the dollar was backed by gold, then the US wouldn't be able to provide monetary expansion without mining more gold. And they don't like the idea of that. They just like printing money out of thin air. Oh, we've actually got some donations here. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Thank you, but we'll check those out in a second. Let me just go through these comments one by one. I don't want to miss anything. Where were we? The dollar is being injected with sugar water from the feds. Yeah, pretty much. Thoughts on ETH? On the ETH chart? Pretty much the same as all of the other altcoins right now. I'm not a fan of ETH from a fundamental perspective. A little bit too centralized, a little bit too slow, a little bit too high gas fees in my opinion, but it has the first movers advantage. I do think ETH is going to remain the top 2 crypto forever. I don't think that's going to change because I think Bitcoin and ETH are going to stay number 1 and number 2 respectively. But yeah, looking at the chart on ETH is doing nothing different than the rest of the markets today. ETH pumped up to your 4-hourly EMAs, just like everything else when the dollar was taking a breather, and now the dollar is coming back. The dollar is, I think the dollar just retested the 1-hourly EMA ribbons. Or it's retesting them right now. So yeah, dollar looks pretty good. While the dollar is increasing, while the Fed's increasing the interest rates, I wouldn't be interested in altcoins, unfortunately. So that includes ETH in that mix. I'm more of a Solana person. But I wouldn't be opposed to moving to a different blockchain. I don't think Solana is going to be around in the next 10 to 15 years, just looking at previous data. I heard the Fed wants to have all things back to pre-pandemic level, and that's low. Where did you hear that? That would be interesting if there was like a confirmed source on that. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, everything goes down, the Fed just buys everything up on its balance sheet. Hey yo, it's Cowboy himself. What's up, Mark? How you doing today, man? When moon? Not this year, probably. I don't know. ApeCoin was 20% up against Bitcoin, though. Isn't that a sign that it can stand alone? No, in my opinion, because Solana's up 11% against Bitcoin today. And you come over to... Do we have an Ape BTC chart? Yeah, we do. But just to show you what I mean on Binance, you know, if you asked me that question... here, and you said, you know, Solana's up against Bitcoin 28% today, does that mean that Solana can stand by itself? Well, it clearly proved that it wasn't because we capitulated back below the lows. And you can see this with Solana all the time. You know, we have times we go up 21%, we have times we go up 52%, and currently Solana's going up, 11% on the day, and it's clearly in a macro downtrend. The point is, altcoin moves faster than Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's moving down, altcoins are going to move down faster. If Bitcoin goes up for a day, altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin for a day. But you're in a macro downtrend. So in the macro term, you know, coming into tomorrow, I would imagine all of these games would be wiped. Could be wrong. We could pump over the weekend. But, you know, once again, you look at ApeCoin against Bitcoin and, you know, you say, can't Ape stand against Bitcoin because it's up 10% today, but You know, it was up 22% the other day against Bitcoin, and it was also up 34% against Bitcoin, and now we've capitulated below all of these candles. So short term, yes, it can outperform Bitcoin. Long term, while we're in this downtrend, absolutely not. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily seem... Ape is holding up better than everything else, and I said this in my Ape videos. Ape might be one of those cryptos that can just survive a bear market in the way that Chainlink did. I don't know how many of you were around in 2017, but apart from XRP, which wasn't performing well anyway, but Chainlink was the only crypto that anyone cared about during the 2017 to 2018 bear market. It was the only thing that was moving. It was the only thing that had a community at the time, and it was a market outlier, and it was able to move by itself. Do I think that there is going to be 1, 2, maybe 3 cryptos that can be a market outlier in this bear cycle? 100%, 100%. It's been proven before. Do I fancy my odds against picking, you know, 1, 2, or 3 quote-unquote market outliers out of a bag of like 10,000 cryptos? Absolutely not. So, you know, I would say the probability perspective is that Ape is not going to stand up against Bitcoin. Here's a joke of the matter: anyone selling at a loss can write it off on their taxes, so really there's no reason to sell at a loss right now. You can't wait. You could wait until December. You could, but you know, it might you might not have as much by December. Although I do feel like, you know, I do feel like the bottom is going to be in play in the next 1 to 2 months. But that doesn't mean that we won't chop around the bottom for the next couple of months. So it definitely could get uglier. Like the stream. I appreciate that, my friend. We got 26 likes. Very, very nice. Everyone, please do me a favor, like the stream. Let's see how many likes we can go get on this one. We got a donation as well. 35 ZAR from Troy. I don't know how much 35 ZAR is, but I do appreciate that. Thank you a lot. Didn't even ask a question as well. Merlin, the fact that gold is going down with Bitcoin makes me extremely bullish on Bitcoin. This confirms the DXY pump is pure rate manipulation. The DXY bubble will eventually collapse. 100%. I think the dollar... Well, I don't know about the DXY collapsing, because my opinion is that the dollar is the strongest... The dollar is the strongest fiat currency. So, you know, the DXY may look strong, but in reality, it's just one shitcoin paired against another million shitcoins. Like, for example, you're measuring the dollar against like the Zimbabwean dollar, you're measuring it against the Venezuelan dollar, you're measuring it against the Indian rupee. So it's gonna look strong against other fiat currencies that are inflating more than it. But the US dollar itself, if you look at the US dollar correlated to other assets, so for example, if we leave the DXY and we compare, for example, Bitcoin against the US dollar, or for example, if we invert the chart, we can see the US dollar against Bitcoin. You can just see, you know, you zoom out to the macro time frame, this is the US dollar against Bitcoin. It's not exactly the strongest chart, it's falling off the face of this world. So yeah, very interesting. I do feel like the dollar's going to be here for a long period of time. Have we flipped it again? I can't tell. Yeah, we are, because this is going up. Invert scale again. Alright, that's good. That's good. Kyle, cool for answering the 20 to 25. No worries, my friend. I enjoy talking to all of you, so you don't need to thank me for talking to you. I'm doing the same thing, just buying Bitcoin. Yeah, I think that is going to be a smart idea, in my opinion. Can you check out JASMY? Yeah, we'll check that out in 1 second. Am I stupid to hold my Solana? Made everything through flipping NFTs. I literally have 0 of my own money invested, so I have no emotion attached to it. I've got a pretty huge bag at the moment, but I just want to hold, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, that's completely up to you. I guess everyone's trading plan is different. So my trading plan, holding Bitcoin throughout the bear market, might not be the best for everyone else. I'm completely happy to lose however much of my money against, you know, the Great British Pound or the US dollar as my portfolio can handle, because I don't care about long-term valuations against the dollar or fiat currencies. I like to measure my altcoin bags, and I like to measure my NFT bags against Bitcoin. So if I don't know, if I was you, and maybe I'd be keeping an eye on the Sol BTC pair, but even then Sol looks pretty bearish against Bitcoin. So I don't know. I guess that's a question for yourself. I want to hold Sol for the long term, but I sold well over 90% of my Solana, 95% probably, so I can go all in on Bitcoin. And so far, I did that a couple of days ago. We're down, 20%. So in theory, I do like Solana, but I think I'm going to be getting a big discount on Solana come the end of this bear market. So that's my take on things. But I'm kind of like a Bitcoin maximalist, but I'm also not. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist because I believe that Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency in the entire world that has store of value, but that does not mean that every other altcoin does not have value. So store of value is kind of like what gold wants to be. Like, you put your money in it and you know that your money is going to be safe over the next 50 years or so. But altcoins like Solana and Ethereum, they can provide value from things being built on top of their blockchain. So yeah, it's a 50-50 mix. I'd never want to hold an altcoin for the long term. That's just me. Not a single altcoin. You may have heard me talk about altcoins and be bullish on them on my channel, and that doesn't mean I don't like them, but Bitcoin is king. My altcoin trades are simply to make more Bitcoin. So, altcoins come and go. I made a video on this. If you click on my channel, click on microdosing Bitcoin, you can see I've done a video top 25 cryptos of 2018 versus top 25 of 2022. There is 8 cryptos that made it from 2018 to 2022. So that's just like a little bit of alpha there, but all of these altcoins, they're not going to be around in the next 10 years, in my opinion. Or if they are going to be around, they're not going to be in the top 25. There's going to be better opportunities. Ash Ketchup for the 5. Thank you so much, my friend. Do you think Bitcoin will hit 22k or lower? Always supporting you, bro. Massively appreciate that, my friend. Massively appreciate that. One of the OGs in the Discord as well. Absolute legend. So, do I think Bitcoin will hit 22k or lower? My personal price target is literally, like you said, exactly on the dot with 22k, because if we zoom in, this 200-week moving average is almost always the bottom, unless we have some type of nasty capitulation. But you can see here, if we follow where the bottoms have historically been, we can wick below them, which is something to take note of. And historically, it seems like we've wicked down to the 300-week moving average more than once. And I imagine if you did extrapolate this trend line, it would have done something like this, and you may have come down to there. So in my opinion, I think that Bitcoin will be coming down to 22,000 minimum. That is my minimum target at this moment in time. But I also wouldn't put it past Bitcoin to come down to 19,000. I find it a little bit of a stretch that Bitcoin will come down to 16,000. I don't think I would save any liquidity if we did come down there. I feel like I've gone crazy in on Bitcoin when we reached 29,000. I went so deep into Bitcoin at 29,000, but I also have buy orders down at 22,000, and a lot of my buy orders are going to be at 19 to 20,000. I'm not going to have any buy orders below 19 to 20,000, because in my opinion, if we do collapse below those levels, we might be entering like a nasty recession, which we haven't seen before, and then in which case, something like this might play out. But I'd probably be sitting on the sidelines with some cash reserves. I always feel like it's good to have maybe like 5-10% of your portfolio in cash, depending on how much money you have. I guess no one can fully answer that for yourself. Buy algo. I'm not buying any altcoins right now. I really don't think it's a good idea to buy any altcoins, but I wish you the best of luck if that's what you're doing. CRO is still up nearly 100%. versus July. Bitcoin isn't. I was buying CRO last July for 10 cent. Worst case, I don't see CRO dropping below 10 cent. I could definitely see CRO dropping below 10 cent, to be honest. I mean, that's only a 50% capitulation from where we are now. And I feel like it is going to go down to 10 cent. You know, it can go lower than that, in my opinion. Whether it will or not, I don't know. But yeah, I think the problem is Crypto.com is a fairly new cryptocurrency. And you can see it was doing a whole lot of nothing during this range. And the only reason, like, if you were back in, I know you were because you said that you were buying down here. I didn't get into Crypto.com until it started trading at 15 cent. And then I went pretty much crazy on it between the ranges of 25 to 30 cent. And that was to get, I got my card back down here. But as the Matt Damon ads were really going crazy, is when I got my card. I got my card pretty much as soon as it came out. I can't remember if it was like here or here. But I didn't have the M Crow because before that I actually looked into them and they had a different card. It wasn't CRO at the time. They had something different. But I never got one of those. I only came in when it went to Crypto.com. But my problem is with Crypto.com is all the hype came in for the Visa card staking, the rewards from the staking, the card cashback, and now that hasn't happened. Now we don't have the same fundamentals. It's a little bit sticky because if you said, you know, I think Crypto.com's not going to break below 10 cent and they still had the card staking, I'd agree with you because I feel like a lot of people would stake it through the bear market. I would have staked it through the bear market, but now I've sold all my Crypto.com and I have friends that are doing the same. So, let's see. Cowboy, do you do any futures trading? I literally just do mainly longs and shorts over on Femex mainly. Even after Luna crash, are you making up on long term on altcoin? Wait, let me read that again. Even after Luna crash, are you making up on long term on altcoin like Solana? Yeah. Sorry. You pulled Indian rupee mark from my mouth in 10 years. Rupee going to be dominating currency. Sorry for triggered myself. You don't have potential of Indian rupee. I barely know what your sentences are saying, so I'm not buying Solana, I'm not buying Luna. Are you buying any ETH in the future along with BTC until there would be another alt season? I'm not buying. I don't think I'll ever buy Ethereum unless they fix the gas fees. That's just my take. I think there's better altcoin opportunities. And like I said, nothing against ETH. My main reason, my trading plan, like my personal strategy, is to buy altcoins so I can make more Bitcoin. And Ethereum pretty much moves at the same pace as Bitcoin, a little bit stronger. So like if Bitcoin goes up 20% in a bull run, ETH might go up 40%, but then you might be able to buy a different blockchain that would go up like 100%. So I'd prefer to invest in other Ethereum competitors like Solana and Near rather than buying ETH. Dollar and euro are the best fiat currencies. Yeah, that's pretty true. Also, the Great British Pound is very strong. Russian ruble as well is the strongest fiat currency of this year, which is absolutely mad to see. Found your channel about a month ago. Really balanced, objective content. You really know what you're doing. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that, Phil. I'm a straight shooter. That's why they call me Cowboy. I don't like to sugarcoat. I don't like to beat around the bush. If I see something that's bearish, I'll call it how it is. Yeah, I think we've already read that one. Would you mind taking a look at waves? Sure, we'll check that out in 1 second. Waves and GRT. So we've got 2 requests here. Just found and joined Discord. Thank you for actually being honest, unlike 95% of YouTubers. You're welcome, my friend. That's why I'm here. That's one of the reasons why I started a YouTube, because first of all, my job is trading, so before this I had so much free time. I would just sit at this desk and play like Star Wars Battlefront all day, and I'd have, you know, my iPad or my iPhone in front of me with TradingView open, and I would just turn on my computer every couple of hours to make a trade, and then I'd play Xbox. So I had so much free time, so I thought I might as well might as well make a YouTube as well. But yeah, I made a YouTube to provide, you know, non-BS, non-hype analysis. I got tired of watching YouTubers with their mouth open saying, today is the most important day, and then tomorrow it's like, this Bitcoin indicator is going to explode tomorrow, this blah blah blah. So yeah, I kind of got sick of all that BS hype on YouTube, so I made my own YouTube, doing things my own way, going against the grain, making videos other people wouldn't make, providing different perspectives. That's what I'm all about. I'd hate to be the guy that just, you know, draws trend lines and says, you know, looking at crypto.com today, you know, we've got this trend line, got this trend line, we're in a falling wedge right now, we're gonna break out, this is the price target. I find trend lines like the most arbitrary thing in the whole world. I actually hate them. Oh no, I thought that said thank you, but it says Action Master TV. I thought that said TY. Hi, I love your channel. I have one question. Do you still hold ELON? I hold a small bag of ELON that I'll never sell, unless it does like a 20 or 25x. By the way, just subscribe. Well, welcome to the channel, my friend. Warm welcomes to you. Hope you enjoy your stay here. Would you sell out of alts like Cake for a loss? Cake is slightly different for me because you can stake it for quite a crazy amount, and honestly I don't have enough Cake to justify even opening Pancake Swap and unstaking it. I mean, it's a good amount, but it's a much less than sub 1% allocation of my portfolio, so I'm gonna continue holding on to Cake. I really do like Cake in the long term. I think it's a great swap. I think I had a brain aneurysm trying to read that Indian rupee comment. I read it a little bit weird as well. Yeah. Sorry, man. You're a nice guy. Love your patience and dedication. You don't need to apologize. It's all good, man. I appreciate your coolness. Take a bow. I just subscribed. I will follow you just for your patience. I appreciate that, my friend. Welcome to the channel. What else have we got going here? Terra Ecosystem Revival Plan. God. Would you mind taking a look at Waves and GRT? GRT. Have we even covered that before? What is GRT? I don't think I've covered GRT before. But yeah, we'll check that out in a second. Waves. Waves really, really sucks. It has a really bad chart. Have my Fibonacci's disappeared, or did I remove them? I'm going to refresh the chart. Maybe I removed all of my Fibonacci's because it would make sense considering how we've invalidated all of them. I always hate having such a plain chart. I'm used to having absolute chaos on my screen. Absolute chaos. So many lines, so many fibs. Yeah, no, they must have... yeah, everything else is loaded in, so no, I have removed them. Previously, we were running off this macro fib from low to high, and, you know, this was invalidated, so we had to remove it. Everything is gone on Waves. There is no more support. We deleted all of your Fibonacci's as well. I think I'm going to have to remove this. This orange line was your candle body close on your 786, was it? Or was this the low? Either way, it's been invalidated, so I'm going to remove it. This trend line's been invalidated. This has been invalidated. Yeah, Waves is, like I said, I'm a straight shooter. I don't like to sugarcoat things on this channel. Waves is one of the worst cryptocurrency setups I've seen out of all year. I was very, very critical on Waves when it came up to $64. When the news of it being a Ponzi scheme came out, I was very critical of it. I basically said, you know, we need to hold the all-time high / double 618 fib, because at this moment in time, I believe we had, you know, your 618 from the high to the low, and you had this 618 as well, and once you capitulated below this double 618 Fibonacci, that was it. That was curtains. So Waves, unfortunately, it died before everything else did. And yeah, I mean, the USD Neutrino stablecoin got depegged. It got depegged as their project was pumping out of absolutely nowhere. They were accused of being a Ponzi scheme. The rest is history. It basically died since then. And you can see, even on the pump today, we're struggling to break back above the previous lows. Yeah, wow. On the 4-hourly candles, we did not even make it up to the 4-hourly EMA ribbons. So, yeah, like I said, I'm sorry if this is your favorite cryptocurrency and I'm bashing it very, very hard right now. But I do like to, I don't like to sugarcoat things. I like to say it very, very bluntly how I see it. Because I feel like if you sugarcoat something, and if you're like, okay, waves looks bad right now, but... And then if you keep on adding those buts, we could, but... I mean, I don't like doing that. I don't like filler. Yeah, so I'm very sorry, but this is a horrible chart setup. Everything's invalidated. Weekly time frames. I mean, have we got anything? Divergence? Let's check out KDA on the oscillators. This has disappeared. I need to get rid of this. Get rid of the squeeze bomb. I'm gonna wrap up the live stream very soon, by the way, because I'm going out tonight. Oscillators. So if we get the relative strength, OBV is something I haven't checked out in a very long time. The money flow index. Money flow indicator. What is going on wrong here? I've got 2 volumes. Money flow index. What is going on, man? MA ribbons. Surely I don't have to get rid of these. While we're doing this, I might as well once again shill my Twitter with absolutely no shame. So if you do want to follow me over on Twitter, it is here at 618_cowboy. I really just retweet things that I think would have value to people. I share some cryptocurrency charts. I share art. I share NFTs. And yeah, like time sensitive information. Like the other day, the countdown to the FOMC. More NFTs. Sometimes, I rarely post when I make a YouTube video, but yeah, just memes. So yeah, if you want to follow me over on Twitter, it's here at 618_cowboy. Let's check out waves, because I don't think there's going to be anything there. But as we checked that out, we might as well check out the oscillators. Squeeze bomb, volume, EMAs, MFI, relative strength. Hop over to the higher time frames, perhaps we see something. So lows, and there's lows here. So no, there's not even a tiny bit of divergence. There's nothing. So I can't find any reason to be from here. No, you've taken out the lows, which is, so you can't even say that we'd be having a divergence from the price here. Yeah, very unfortunate, but everything about waves is diabolical. I think we already checked that one out. We already checked that one out. Already checked that one out. Already checked that out. Terra just released this, or they released the Terra Ecosystem Revival Plan. Alright, nice. I'll have to check that out soon. I will have to check that out soon. Where were we? Great channel. I appreciate that, Stuart. Thank you, my friend. Just found this channel and subbed. Great job. Appreciate that, my friend. Welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy your stay here. What price do you think Solana could reach in the next bull run? I don't know. I reckon what was the all-time high? 250. I feel like $1,000 is conservative if it does manage to survive, and that's a big if, because I'm a huge Solana bull. I love Solana. You know, when you clicked on this channel, my profile pic is a Solana NFT, but the past couple of months I've been very disappointed with the Solana blockchain. You know, I love Solana because it kind of sacrificed some of its security in able to have higher scalability. And when you've got that higher scalability, you expect fast transaction throughput. But the past couple of days, like for example, when I had to send my Solana to different addresses, it was failed transactions. So Solana, hopefully it survives the next this bear market. I really hope it does, because I do plan on picking up Solana when it does come to dirt cheap. But Solana does have a lot of things that it does need to improve on if it does want to survive. Do you see ADA dropping from 60 cent to 20? I do see ADA dropping. I haven't checked out the ADA chart in a very long period of time. So we don't have support until 36 cent. And we've already come down to it. So it does seem like ADA would have more to drop. I think, like you said, 20 cent, 12 cent, 17 cent. Those would be my my price targets for Cardano. May I have your plan? How often you will come live? Seriously, never seen such good analysis. I'm your fan. I appreciate that again, my friend. I appreciate that big time. This is my second live stream. I normally just post like lots of videos in a day. Like I said, I have a lot of free time because crypto is my only job, trading is my only job. So I mainly make a lot of YouTube videos because I've got a lot of time. But whenever I do see days like today, where I see the altcoins, you know, they're rallying, and I see a lot of my I don't want to say fans, because I'd prefer to look at us as one big community, and I'm just like one part of that. So how would I say that? A lot of people in my community have been saying, you know, they're getting very bullish. I see it all over my Twitter, people saying I'm buying the dip on Solana, I'm buying the dip on this, I'm buying the dip on that, and I just feel like that is a terrible idea. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball, but yeah, I wouldn't be DCAing anything at this moment in time. How often do I live stream? Whenever I see something major happening in the markets, like for example today, all of the altcoins are rallying and everyone's getting out of bed. But you know, you zoom out, you look at things objectively, and you know, we're not above even the 4-hourly EMA ribbons. We're in a very, very nasty downtrend, and a lot of people are going to get out of bed for this one. But you know, Bitcoin is still bearish, unfortunately, and the dollar is being king right now. The dollar's breaking out. Where is the dollar gone? Here it is. If we come back down to the 1-hourly time frames, it's been like 20 minutes or so since we checked it out. Hasn't done too much. Headed down a little bit in the past hour since we started the stream, but we're in the 1-hourly EMA ribbons and we're still holding them very nicely. 4-hourly EMAs, you know, I wouldn't even be worried if we kind of just channeled down to 104 again. The dollar is exceptionally bullish, and next month, if the Fed keeps on increasing their interest rates, then we're just going to see something like this again, where the dollar starts rallying. I mean, look at what happened to the dollar since the interest rates increased. To be fair, the dollar's been on a huge rampage for the past year or so. But yeah, warm welcomes to the channel, my friend. Glad you found the channel. The answer to that is basically whenever I see something very important going on in the markets, like a lot of selling, a lot of dumping, a lot of pumping, that is when I normally make the live streams. Let's see here. GRT. Oh, it's the graph. I just didn't recognize the ticker symbol. Yeah, I used to be invested in graph. It's been a very long time since I've checked out the graph. I don't hold it anymore. I think I flipped it for a bunch of other altcoins I found favorable at the time. I think it must have been like 6 months or so. I didn't even have a YouTube channel when I started looking at the graph. But the graph is getting hit very bad right now. We're getting more selling volume than we've seen since this mass type capitulation. And you know, volume is your friend. The last time we had this amount of volume stepping into the market, we were in the face of a huge capitulation, and it seems like the graph is doing that now. Hop over to the weekly time frame. Was this when the graph... I feel like the graph has been out way longer than this. I feel like... Oh no, to be fair, might be. We'll check it out with the Coinbase pair. Which one goes back longer? Or are they pretty much the same time? Because I remember the first time I heard of the graph, it was added to Coinbase. So 14th... Binance normally gets into these early, but no, that was the 14th, so this might have been the whole of the graph's traded history, and yeah, not looking good whatsoever. since the start of the bull run. I mean, even if I'm super conservative and I don't draw it from the opening and I don't draw it to the wick, this is literally squishing the 786 down as low as it can go. But you've invalidated everything on the macro term for graph. Tons of bearish volume coming in. Volume is indicative of price, obviously, and that is why we're seeing exponential increases in volume and the price is dumping. Come over to the daily time frame. We're seeing a pump today. We're up 13%, just like everything else is. Higher time frames, lots of selling volume. The squeeze mom on the daily is absolutely capitulating. The last time we saw squeeze mom flip, we kind of just flipped into it and went sideways, reaccumulated the bearish momentum, meaning that in theory, because the bears are still in control, they've taken a breather and now they've come back, they're going to be even stronger in the next rep. So yeah, it's almost like if you're doing like a bench press and then you take a break for like a minute and you drink a Red Bull, you're obviously going to have like a higher push in your next set. So it does seem like this next leg to the downside, which hasn't topped out, doesn't look like it's near topping out, is going to be very brutal. So for the graph, I would expect lower price targets in my opinion. Seems like we're trying to, you can see we broke below the 1.618 fib. We're trying to find support at the 1.6 at 17 cent, and it looks like we're not going to hold it in my opinion. I think we're going to be breaking lower. Slightly more macro time frames. You can see this perfectly lines up as well. This is why I love Fibonacci's. Screw trend lines, man. Trend lines suck. 1.6. Yeah, this is going to be a huge level for graph, and as we've broken below it, there's no way I can draw a fib from here because the price target would be at 0. So these are your levels at this moment in time for the graph. And we really, oh my god, next 2.618 is at 0 as well. So after you break below this box, it is price discovery to the downside, and unfortunately there's not a plethora of targets. I like to inverse the scale sometimes, see if I can get a slightly different perspective when I look at it a different way. Increasing trend line. Got a big something like this, that's going to be a massive level as well. Drawing from, I don't think there's much else I can see on here. It seems like we're in some type of rising wedge pattern, which obviously we're in an inverse scale, so you could argue that we could be in like a falling wedge. But yeah, I don't think, falling wedges have a higher likelihood of breaking out. I don't think this one's going to break out in my opinion. But yeah, this 1.618 fib, you keep on having daily closes below 17 to 19 cent. This is going to capitulate. So yeah. Oh, got a ton more comments now. Lost so much money on waves. I do appreciate your objectivity. No worries, my friend. I hope you enjoy the content. When did you start watching? Did you start watching when we were covering waves all the way up at like $60 or so, or did you get in fairly recently? My tone hasn't changed on waves since up here. We've been pretty bearish on this for a while. You opened my eyes. I thought of longing waves at $5. Yeah, I can almost, there's no guarantees in crypto, but I'd be willing to bet money that waves is going to go a lot lower. I wouldn't be touching altcoins right now. In fact, if anything, I'd be shorting waves if we had, daily and weekly closes below $7.63. Once you come out and take the lows out, $6, I'd be looking to pretty much short at that region. So yeah, I would definitely not be longing. Last minute marginal Luna buyers should be compensated for their role in attempting to provide stability for the network, 10% to the community pool. So how is that going to work? Are they going to print more Luna to compensate for that? Isn't that going to just diminish the price of Luna? And by last minute marginal Luna buyers, does that mean retail traders, or does something constitute does something else constitute that? I will leave waves and focus on Cardano. Best of luck with that. I think Cardano is bearish as well. I think all the altcoins are going to be breaking bearish against Bitcoin. What do you think of Dogecoin's next planned move? I haven't checked it out. Is this what you're talking about? This is his next move. I need to see your response on that, because if they're using more inflation to try and stabilize the rate, then it's just going to destroy the value of Luna. And then it's almost like digging themselves a different hole. It's kind of like what the Feds are doing with quantitative easing. You know, the economy looks shaky because we're printing so much money. I've got a good idea. Let's print more money. So if they are going to be printing Luna to try and fix that issue, then they're really just going to be screwing themselves over even more. I feel like Luna is so deep in a hole that it is never ever going to get out. That doesn't mean Luna can't go back to $1. It doesn't mean it can't go back to a few dollars. I don't think Luna will ever be top 25, top 50, top 100 crypto ever again. I don't think Luna will be able to recover. I could be completely wrong. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just going on probabilities. Does not look good. Opinions on QRDO or ORN. I've never heard of those cryptos before in my entire life, to be honest. So I'd only be able to look at those from a technical perspective until I did fundamental research. So yeah. What did I miss? Can you check up on Ape? Yeah, we'll check out Ape in just a second. I think we checked it out earlier, but I'll give it a quick check over again. If you've got any more altcoin requests, I'm going to try and wrap up this video in the next 10 to 15 minutes, because I am going to be heading out at about 1:30. So yeah, if you do have any more requests, then now is the time. I'm going to be wrapping things up. So ApeCoin, we'll check that one out. Hey buddy, somehow I do want to believe in your analysis. Kudos for going against the stream. Appreciate it, my friend. That's one of the main goals of the channel. What would you advise to someone who has lost 80% of their portfolio? Should they get out and get in later? I can't really give you financial advice, and also I'm not you, so I wouldn't be able to speak for you and say, you know, would I be willing to lose that much? For example, if it was me and I'd lost 80% of my portfolio, like that is a lot of my portfolio. That is a lot of money. I would not want to lose 80% of my portfolio. So myself, like for example, Solana reached a certain threshold that it went down on, and I was like, I can't lose any more of my net worth in these altcoins. So I went all in on Bitcoin, and that was the best thing for me. But you know, obviously you're a different person to me. You might have a different trading plan. So I'd always just say, you know, revise your trading plan. Think about it. How much can you afford to lose? How much can you afford? What is your risk? What is your risk tolerance? Because if you're saying you're 80% down, you're obviously not, you know, mainly in Bitcoin like myself, because I've mainly been in Bitcoin the whole time. Even in the bull market, I'm mainly all in on Bitcoin apart from altcoins. But, you know, I'm imagining you're pretty much all in on altcoins if you're 80% down. So in my opinion, altcoins can get a lot uglier, in my opinion. I'm just looking at things objectively. Every single pair against Bitcoin is getting massively capitulated. And for example, I'm just going to use Solana once again to define this, and I'm using Solana to give an example of this because Solana was so bullish against Bitcoin just a couple of weeks ago, but now we've massively capitulated, invalidated the 0.5, invalidated the 618, and come down, broken below 786, and now we're heading down to there. Solana was holding up against Bitcoin better than every single altcoin, but it seems like everything's capitulating against Bitcoin. This is one of the nicest Bitcoin charts. Everything else is completely landsliding against Bitcoin. And I do think Bitcoin's king. You look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin looks a lot better than a lot of these altcoins. And also head over to the Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance is heading up, meaning that the market cap is going to be a greater percent in terms of Bitcoin. So I think Bitcoin dominance, where the hell is it? I can't find it. BTCD, can anyone see this? Has it just disappeared? I'm not going crazy. I must have scrolled through. Here we go. I must have scrolled through this like 20 times now. But you can see Bitcoin dominance looks pretty bullish. The last time we were in a scenario like this, well, where were we? We were right here in a very similar situation. What was happening in January 2018 when the Bitcoin dominance was going up? Well, this was the end of the bull market. What happened after then? The Bitcoin dominance skyrocketed. Altcoins got absolutely slaughtered. They got absolutely slaughtered. I was back in it at the day, and it did not matter whether your altcoin was a shitcoin. It did not matter whether your altcoin was a blue chip crypto that was gonna survive even into this bear market like Ethereum. Everything got absolutely decimated against Bitcoin. The only thing that outperformed Bitcoin was Chainlink. I mean, there might have been one or two others. The only thing I covered back then, the only thing I looked at was Chainlink, and Chainlink was the only one in the green. Everything else was in the red. So, in my opinion, Bitcoin dominance is rearing for that breakout right now. You know, we've got a W breakout target right here. If we do break out, Bitcoin dominance is going to go up to 47.5% of the total crypto capitalization. That could mean that we could be setting up for a retest of the EMA ribbons, having a breakout. I do not think now is the right time to be in on altcoins. I think altcoins are going to get decimated against Bitcoin. And since I've been saying that the past week, the past couple of days, everything's gone hella cheaper against Bitcoin. Is KDA going back to 88 cents in a few days? I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if we look at KDA looks brutal. I've been sitting on the sideline on this for the longest period of time. I started making content on KDA, I think literally as we were breaking down. People, I think, I can't remember who asked me to cover it. Maybe it was you, Indian Kitchen. I can't remember if you were the first person, or if you were definitely the first person who commented on my KDA vids, and you were definitely the first person who asked me to continuously make KDA vids. But I can't remember if you asked me to cover it, or if enough people just asked me in the Discord or something. But yeah, we've been landsliding since then. Actually, we didn't even have a Discord back then. So yeah, someone must have commented and asked me to cover it. Raj, hey buddy. Oh no, we've already been through this, haven't we? Oh yeah, we've already been through this. Raj, that's the same name as the Solana founder. Good name, good name. Is KDA going back to 88 cents? Oh yeah, we just looked at that. I mean, I've got price targets near there. If I zoom out to the supports that we've got down here, I don't really see anything until these were backed up by something. I've deleted a fib. If it's orange, then it's definitely a fib. So this might be the 4.236, and this also lines up with the floor, so that's going to be a level of support. So yeah, this most recent impulse is the 4.236 at the bottom here. This is also the lows, but now I have to figure out what is this line at $1. This might just be a psychological level, actually. I think this is a psychological level. Well, obviously it's a psychological level, but is it the is it a Fibonacci as well? Oh, very interestingly, down here, so you've got the lows at 83 cent. Not only is the lows at 83 cent backed up by your 4.236 Fibonacci, I think I fat fingered it. I needed to draw it from the low. But yeah, not only is this backed up by your 4.236 Fibonacci, but you also have this 1.618. This is the most macro Fibonacci, the one that matters the most at this moment in time. And you can see huge amounts of confluence down at the 79 cent region. I could imagine that $1 would be a psychological level, but the problem with that is that, I mean, to be fair, we're at 216 now. I wouldn't be surprised if we did something like this and then went down to 74. I could imagine we could go a lot lower than that as well. A lot of people have been hyping over KDA in only the past couple of months or so. But yeah, maybe it could be a good long-term project, maybe not. We will only find out after the end of the bear market. That's when we find out the winners from the losers. Made a quick 15% scalping Doge yesterday. Congratulations on your profits. COS looks good short-term. I analyzed it... I analysed it to perhaps hitting nice upswing soon. Would love some insight. COS, we'll quickly check that out. Once again, something that I've never heard of before. I'm guessing this is what you said. So yeah, bear in mind my analysis on this would purely be from a technical perspective, as I've not looked at this From a fundamental perspective, what did you say? COS looks like a good short term. Some nice upswings. Yeah, maybe you're seeing something that I'm not seeing, but let me check out the chart. Weekly time frame, I'm pretty sure everything's been invalidated. This would have been invalidated, and the problem with this is, was this the same on all exchanges? Coinex, Gate.io, we'll check it out here. Yeah, what happened? What happened on this wick? I really don't like drawing fibs to wicks that just completely go up and down like that. This was a 2-day pump, so I would not give any significance to any Fibonacci's on that level. I would be drawing from this wick or this candle body close, and this entire uptrend has been invalidated, unfortunately, so we'll be needing to get rid of that. Some basic trend lines, you can see we were in a huge descending triangle, and we've only just broken below the floor. So I'll look at this a little bit more in depth, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing what you're seeing. I think this looks like dog water, in my opinion. This chart looks terrible. Like I said, I apologize if I'm shitting on your coin, but I'm a straight shooter, so I like to say it how it is. I don't like sugarcoating. I don't like beating around the bush. I said this earlier in the stream, but I feel like if you just keep on sugarcoating things, it's sometimes hard for people to understand your whole perspective. But I don't see anything bullish on this. 1.6 got taken out. We found support at the 1.618 down here. This is really your last line of support. If we take out the floor here, then it's pretty much done. I'm going to invert the chart, see if there's anything I didn't notice before. Discounting this wick as well, you can see you've got higher highs, which is very indicative that we're in a macro bullish structure, but obviously we're in the inverse chart, and you can see this is the complete opposite. We're macro bearish. This was pretty much your floor. Invert scale. We can check and see if it's got any divergence, but you know, from what I can tell, we're having a momentum swing to the downside, and this is a pretty brutal one. Whenever COS seems to have these big swings that take out these kind of mini swings down here, we normally go on huge capitulation events. The last time we had one of this stature, we completely capitulated from 6 cent down to 2 cent, and then the time before that we had one in, you know, even greater magnitude. This pretty much was from 4 cent down to less than 1 cent. So yeah, in my opinion, I think COS does not look good. 4-hourly time frame, you didn't even make it, or you haven't quite made it up to your 4-hourly EMA ribbons. And the problem with this is, you know, as you're pumping into these EMA ribbons, this is when you want to see an increase in volume to see momentum shift to the upside. You can see the 4-hourly squeeze bomb is kind of, the bulls are trying to take this out of the hands of the bears, and this is the point where you want to see an increase of bullish volume, indicative that the bears are about to lose this trend. But in my opinion, we're about to see something like we saw here, where the bulls don't step in. You can see during this range, no bulls stepped in. During this range, no bulls stepped in. During this range, no bulls stepped in. So in my opinion, on the squeeze one, we're setting up for something like this. And every time we have this reset, we have a bigger bearish wave to the downside. And then you hop over to the daily time frame, and you can see an increase in bearish momentum on the 4-hour getting rejected from these EMA ribbons, which are roughly here, would probably be bringing us down below the lows. So COS, in my opinion, does not look good. If we take out 0.00523, then we would be capitulating. There's no price targets down here from these Fibonacci swings. 4-hour. Does this respect the 4-hour? Lows to highs. There's nothing here. We did respect the 1.618, so we may be respecting 4-hourly time frame Fibonacci's. 1.618 held very well here as well. You can see textbook flip, very, very gentle flip, and then as soon as you confirmed it as resistance, boom, landslide. So lower time frames, they are definitely respected. Your next move down, because you can see candle body closes at 3.618 as well. Your next move down, in my opinion, would be down to here. So my personal price target for COS would be a breakdown. I think this is going to come down at least another 43%. That's just my opinion. Like I said, purely based on the TA, I know absolutely nothing. If there's been a news update, if there's been a fundamental new update, I know nothing about the fundamentals. Like I said, I'm only basing this purely based on the analysis. Mana is the real hero in terms of recovery. I would rephrase that maybe to Mana is the king in terms of dead cat bounces, but let's see, what's Mana doing? 4 hourly time frame as well. You can see we do this quite a lot. What are we up today? We're up 48%. How much were we up on this swing? 25%, 13%. So I mean, it's having a fairly decent recovery compared to its previous swings. I'll give it that. But yeah, once again, it's probably only having a huge recovery because in the past couple of days, you know, we've gone down 50%. So you know, a 50% pump after a 50% drop, or it's a 75% from the bottom is not really good, because, you know, a lot of people don't realize this, but if you have a 50% drop, you need to have a 2x to make your money back. And what does that mean? Well, that means if you invested $100 in at 123, if you lost 51% of your money, you know, a 50% increase, look at this. So a lot of people don't realize this. A 50% increase after a 50% drop is, you're still 26% down, because you've got the power of compound interest, because, you know, now you've got to compound greater to get to the same level. So like I said, you know, you come down 50%, you have to go up 2x to get to that same price target. So for it to come down 51% and then for it to pump 96% is not impressive in my opinion. It just means that it's a big dead cat bounce. 4 hourly time frame, you found very, very clear area of resistance. I believe this is your 55 EMA. Yeah, your 55 EMA, you found a huge level of resistance. You're coming down, trying to find support on the 25 EMA, but 4 hourly time frame looks like it wants to break down. Daily time frame, you got a huge amount of volume coming in today. I'll give it that. That is a good signal, but you know, we're still below the daily EMA ribbons. You're below every moving average, 200 EMA, 200 day EMA. Everything's pretty bearish right now for Mana. Huge capitulation. Macro time frame, head over to the weekly. You can see you're below the 786. So, I'm just checking my phone. Alright, I'll be leaving in the next 10 minutes. I'll be leaving in the next 10 minutes. So I'll answer the rest of the questions. Dump or pump? Depends what you're talking about. Altcoin season or dump? Dump. 100% dump in my opinion. I mean, I went through this in the start of the stream, but you look at any altcoin against its Bitcoin pair, and most of them look like this. They're capitulating. Solana is the most bullish crypto against Bitcoin at this moment in time, or at least it's the most bullish crypto that hasn't popped up in like the past 5 minutes, like FitFi and Green Metaverse token. But even so, Solana was a great performer against Bitcoin, and now you can see Bitcoin is heavily outperforming all these altcoins. You come over to the Bitcoin dominance, if I can find it. Bitcoin dominance looks exceptionally bullish, and you can see we've come down to these lows and we're consolidating. When was the last time the Bitcoin dominance was consolidating before a breakout? Well, you know, you come back, it was December 2017. What happened in November, December 2017? This was the end of the previous bull run. What happened after then? Bitcoin dominance went up. Altcoins got destroyed against Bitcoin. I was back here in 2017, and I can tell you, it does not matter if you were holding shitcoins. It did not matter if you were holding blue chip cryptos. Everything went down 90% or more against Bitcoin. Everything got destroyed. So what I'm seeing here looks like something like that. I think we're at least going to come up another 20%, 20, 15, 25%. My target is this green box But yeah, I think Bitcoin is exceptionally bullish against the altcoins. I would only be holding altcoins. I don't think an altcoin season's coming. V-shaped recovery or classic bull trap? Classic bull trap in my opinion. Did you talk about FitFi already? No, we will check out FitFi in a second though. I'll load it up on this chart before we forget. I'll try to go through the comments, otherwise I'll miss them all. Yeah, we'll check that out in a sec. Axie is bullish than Bitcoin. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe that is incorrect. I mean, maybe today, but then you can't measure, you know, a macro perspective over the past day. So, you know, Axie. Should we pull up an Axie BTC chart? Because I'm almost 100% certain that it's not going to be bullish whatsoever. No, it's not. So this is a problem that a lot of people make. People look at altcoins against the US dollar, but you know, I think the most important thing to do is to look at altcoins versus the Bitcoin pair, because at least in my opinion, my trading plan is Bitcoin is king, Bitcoin is here to stay, and I think that a lot of these altcoins are going to get decimated against Bitcoin, and that is what we're seeing on Axie. This chart, AXS to Bitcoin, this simply means how many Axies or you know, how Axie is performing against Bitcoin, and you can see it's a huge landslide. The last week alone, Axie is down 23% against Bitcoin. So I would disagree that Axie is bullish against Bitcoin. I would say that we're bullish on the day. We're having a dead cat bounce. Today this is a lower high. Yesterday this was a lower high. A couple of days ago this was a lower high. A month ago this was a lower high. A couple of weeks before that, lower high. It seems very clear cut to me that Axie is very bearish against Bitcoin. In my opinion, if you're holding Axie Infinity, say for example you've got X amount of Axie that can buy 1 Bitcoin, I'd imagine by the end of this bear market you would not be able to buy, you know, 25% or so of Bitcoin. That's my opinion. Axie looks very bearish against Bitcoin. Please look at Cadena. Yeah, we'll check out Cadena. We'll finish on Cadena and we'll finish on FitFi. So like I said, I'm only going to be on for like another 5 minutes, so I doubt I have a plethora of time to check out a bunch of different charts. How long until we can see Bitcoin all-time high? Is that Sanji? Is that you, Sanji? Shout out to Sanji. In my opinion, 2025. Or yeah, I mean, thinking about it, Bitcoin normally takes a year or so to break exceptionally bullish into new all-time highs after the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving's 2 years from now, 2024. Late 2024 to early 2025 is my opinion when Bitcoin's going to be rocketing straight up to 100,000, potentially more. Your KDA videos are superb. Thank you, my friend. Please keep making them. Don't worry, I will be continuing to make KDA videos. Short or long Bitcoin, I can't give you financial advice on that one. How long will this bear market last? Well, if we extrapolate, I think the 4-year cycle played out absolutely perfectly, which is really annoying. I thought we were going to have lengthened cycles, but you know, historically you can see 210 days from the previous bull market top to the 2017 bull market top. This was 210 days. 4 years. This was a 4-year cycle. 4 years later, in fact, it wasn't even an extended cycle. It was less than 4 years. 204 days. The 4-year cycles played out perfectly. I was so mad about that. I thought Bitcoin was going higher. Turns out I was wrong. But looking at it, 4-year cycle perfectly played out. So, in my opinion, the next logical thing to do would be to find where we bottomed here, extrapolate it over to the next level, and then see how far that would take us into the next Bitcoin bottom. I believe it'd be somewhere like November of this year. So from this bottom to this bottom, we extrapolate we extrapolate that over the bottom. Okay, so it depends where you're drawing. Oh, okay, so no, I messed up, my bad. I drew it from here. Yeah, that's my bad. I completely screwed up on that one. That wasn't the bottom, that was the pandemic fear. So it seemed like from the previous bottom it took like, yeah, it took a very, very long period of time. Extrapolating this over. Wow, if this plays out, this would be nice. Okay, no, so it hasn't played out. So I imagine the bottom would be somewhere near. I've been saying this in my videos. It's not backed up by any data because, as you can see, if we were to follow the 4-year bottoming cycle period, then we would have already found the bottom by now. And as you can see, we clearly have not found the bottom if we put it in this week. So, and you know, hypothetically, this can be the bottom, but I still think we've got lower to go. My theory, once again, like pulling it out of nowhere, not backed by any type of extrapolation on previous data, because as you can see, this bear market bottom to bear market bottom extrapolation would have already played out by now. I think it could take us the good part of 2 to 3 months to find a bottom. I think we're going to do something like this. Let me get rid of that. I think we're going to do something like this, where we could come down, we could chop the bulls out, chop the bears out, and then I think, you know, one last flush out to like 19,000, coming into like approximately November, the end of this year, and then I think sideways, slow accumulation to the upside. I think if we look at the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves, you can see it takes time to find a bottom, and even after you do find a bottom, this was August of 2022, and you can see coming into August of the next year, we really hadn't done too much. So yeah, I do think it's going to be boring for the next short period of time, and that sucks because obviously I've got a crypto YouTube channel. I want more than no one for it to do well, but yeah. So like I said, I'm going to wrap up the video in a sec. I think we're just going to check out KDA and FitFi for the people who asked. ELON, I'll check it out for like 1 second, but I won't be able to do any more after this one. Opinion on Gala, we covered Gala a little bit earlier. What you think about KSM? I've never checked it out from a fundamental perspective. What about Tron? That seems to be holding up in general. I don't think Tron is holding up well against Bitcoin in the macro term. Once again, KSM or DOT, what is better to buy? My answer to that is absolutely none of them. I wouldn't buy either of them. I wouldn't buy any altcoins while Bitcoin is clearly outperforming all of the altcoins. Like Solana has been outperforming most of the altcoins this cycle, and as you can see, Bitcoin is heavily outperforming Solana right now, and it's the same. This is basically all of the Sol altcoin pairs. This is all of the altcoin Bitcoin pairs. You see Bitcoin massively outperforming all of these because, you know, you see Bitcoin come down 50% from all-time highs, but people fail to remember, you know, Solana all-time highs is like $250. So if you just sold Solana and waited, like for example, I sold a lot of my Solana the other day, and I'm already getting like a 20% discount or so from when I sold. The PCI inverted TAs are the best. Oh, you know. The ICP charts, I started inverting the charts when I started covering XRP. And for those of you who don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of XRP. It has a terrible chart setup. It's being sued by the SEC, and it has probably one of the worst fundamentals out of any single crypto in the entire world. So I started, you know, bashing XRP by using the inverse chart, and then I carried it over to ICP. But you know, I do wish ICP and XRP holders, you know, I do wish them well. I do hope they make profit, but I look at things objectively. They look terrible. Okay, thanks bro, no worries my friend. Green Satoshi token, I made an update on that earlier. Like I actually recorded a video and posted it, so if you want to check out both Green Satoshi token and Green Metaverse token, I made a separate in-depth video where you'll get, you know, you'll get a better rundown because I spent more time on it than just running through it with the stream. So BNB is a good buy. None of the altcoins in my opinion are a good buy, my friend. Every single altcoin is doing terrible against Bitcoin. I'll just show you, but Binance against Bitcoin. Oh, is it actually bullish? Okay, so I take that back. No, it seems like at least in the short term, I don't really keep up with the Binance chart. I never really cover it that much, but macro term, it does seem like it is bullish on this chart. But in my opinion, I think because the Bitcoin dominance is getting ready to break out, I think this is going to break down. So, the analysis says that it's bullish, but I look at the analysis on multiple perspectives from multiple charts, not just looking at one pair. And I look at the Bitcoin dominance and I fail to see how if the Bitcoin dominance breaks out and we do enter a bear market, that this would hold up. So in my opinion, Binance is clearly holding up a lot better than a lot of the other altcoins. But I think once this Bitcoin dominance starts pushing up, once we start breaking out, and it's trying to do it today, I don't think it's going to do it today. It looks like, it's turning up. So yeah, I'd be very, very worried about holding any altcoin. It doesn't matter if the chart is bullish against Bitcoin at this moment in time. Binance against Bitcoin, that's very surprising. I have not seen many macro specifically. I haven't seen many macro charts that have been holding up quite well against Bitcoin. So Binance looks good against Bitcoin, but I do think that's going to change once a mass capitulation event does come in. Is worth, for example, like today, some altcoins pump 30 to 50%. Is it worth to put in an order in the next support level to make a profit like that? No. In my opinion, I don't think buying any altcoins at this moment in time is good. I've got a lot of comments saying, I think I've made it clear, I think I said I wouldn't buy any altcoins, but then people are asking me, what about KSM, what about Tron, would I rather buy this, would I rather buy Engine or DOT? Would I rather buy KSM or DOT? The answer for all of those is no. The only thing I'm looking to buy while Bitcoin is in this major capitulation is Bitcoin. I think everything is going to be underperforming against Bitcoin. I think if Bitcoin breaks down, which it looks like it wants to do, then your altcoins, Bitcoin might come down 10 or 20%, but your altcoins are going to get absolutely slaughtered, in my opinion. So yeah, I wouldn't be looking to pick up any altcoins. So yeah, but before anyone else asks me, should I buy any altcoins, what altcoins would you buy at this time, there is not a single exception to any altcoin at this moment in time that I'd be looking at buying. Not a single altcoin. But yeah, gonna get more BNB when BTC drops. I think I'll be waiting for like a confirmed macro bottom on Bitcoin, because I don't know about you guys, but I was here in the 2017 bear market, and why I'm acting the way I am is because I witnessed what happened, and where we are right now here in the apex of this breakdown of this triangle reminds me exactly of what happened here. And I remember exactly what happened when the first buyback on the weekly came in. We were right here and we had a buyback, and everyone was running into altcoins. Everyone was picking up XRP. It was still XRP to $100 back then. Everyone was talking about it, but everything collapsed. Every altcoin completely capitulated. And what actually happened is, like I said, I think we're in this kind of scenario, which if we played out, this could mean we could do something like this. We come down, we find a bottom, and then we spend the good part of 2 or 3 months just bouncing out of here, or finding and confirming this accumulation range as a bottom. And then altcoins only started to rally as Bitcoin confirmed that this was the bottom, and it started rallying. Until then, while Bitcoin was consolidating, every altcoin was completely getting bled out to zero. So I'm going to be waiting for this type of move when you've got this confirmed bottoming structure, and then you have a big move out of here. And it's not only when the move happens that the altcoins start moving, because when Bitcoin started moving, the altcoins did not move. When Bitcoin started consolidating before its next run up is when the altcoins ran up. So Bitcoin moved up, the altcoins did nothing. Bitcoin consolidated and held support as it was breaking out, and that is when the altcoins started rallying. That exact moment in time is when I look to buy altcoins. I do not see that in the market right now. What I see in the markets right now is extreme greed. I see people spending thousands on NFTs. I see people spending hundreds of dollars on an NFT of a shoe for a move to earn cryptocurrency, which is a Ponzi scheme and which relies on other people coming in and putting their own money in the market cap for you to be paid out in rewards, and that to me spells out extreme fear. People are throwing their life savings. You know, I've had people in the Discord saying, I put 5 grand and that was my life savings into FitFi, and it's now at 0. But I've been talking to these people, and I told them, you know, Bitcoin is king, but everyone wants to buy altcoins because it's got better returns. But this is what happens. When the capitulation happens, it does hit these altcoins very, very hard. And I think we're in that kind of stage. I do not think we've seen max pain in the markets yet. You believe me, you'll know when there's max pain in the markets, because your stomach will hurt. You'll be living off ramen noodles at that point because you probably bought the dip too many times. I was in that situation. I was doing the exact same thing back here. I was new in the crypto markets. I've been trading stocks for coming on 5 years. Maybe it's 5 years now. And I moved on into the crypto markets, and you know, this was my first cycle, and I lived through it. And I can tell you, I was much better off for panic selling all of my altcoins into Bitcoin as we were falling, because they all became so much cheaper. Obviously, I'm much more mature in the markets now. I wouldn't panic sell, panic buy anything. But you know, back then was a slightly different story, and I'm glad I did sell my altcoins, because everything completely capitulated against Bitcoin, and I think we are about to see that. So yeah, I went off on a tangent there, but I'm absolutely not picking up any altcoins. The market always repeats itself. That is, I don't think it will always repeat itself, but you would be right on this cycle. I mean, look at this. Previous 4-year cycle, 210 days. Everyone was calling for extended cycles, 100k by the end of the year. What do we do? 210-day bull run, 204-day bull run. They played out to the teeth. But yeah, very, very good point. So I think we've got all the questions. Quant I love as well. So I shouldn't think of ape at the moment. In my opinion, well, I mean, obviously not financial advice. You do what's best for you. My trading plan is to absolutely not touch altcoins at this moment in time. So, you know, I wouldn't be thinking about ape at this moment in time. But if anything, I feel like if there's going to be any market outliers, it might be ape. Does that mean that it's worth the risk of, you know, out of the tens of thousands of altcoins that you should try and buy ape? I don't think I would be taking that risk whatsoever. I'd say the odds are against you in that one. What about ape? We covered that earlier. We're going to look at FitFi. We'll look at ape just quickly. We'll look at FitFi, ape, and ELON, and then I'm going to wrap up the video for today. But yeah, so that is all. I love you. Do more quant videos. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, maybe I will. But yeah, so I'm gonna go through ApeCoin now, then I'm gonna go through FitFi, then I'm gonna go through ELON, and we're gonna wrap up the video. So apologies to anyone who asks me for altcoin requests after this, but I'm going out. I'm hitting the town. I'm gonna get some drinks, get some food with the boys. So yeah. But if we check out ape, let's see what's going on here. What chart were we previously running off? Because I think we deleted pretty much everything for ape. And as you can see, we're in a huge downtrend. 4 hourly EMA ribbons define it perfectly. We were able to perfectly... actually, wait, no we weren't. That was a different crypto. I think that was GMT we got out on the 4 hourly EMA flips. I actually had this $23.70 target on ape for a very long time. We took profit here. We DCA'd back in at $13. And ever since then, I've been sitting on the sidelines. I do have a tiny amount of ape, but that ape that I do have is profits from the ape that I sold, and then I use the profits to rebuy back in. So I'm running off the bank's money at this moment in time. I probably won't sell my ape because I have such a small amount of ape in correlation to the rest of my portfolio. I really only started selling my other cryptos that I hold large allocations to, like Solana. But for ape, I might as well hold as it's a very small amount of my portfolio. Ape, I mean, you could argue we could be playing out something like an inverse head and shoulders at this moment in time. I just don't bank on any bullish technicals playing out at this moment. So I mean, you can see that we could potentially be doing something like this and then breaking out. Because ape had the other side recently come out, And before we do get into that, I'm going to shill my Twitter once again for the third time, absolutely shamelessly. But if you do want to follow my Twitter, it's here at 618_cowboy. I just share memes, chart setups, and NFTs, and that is pretty much it. So if you do want to follow me over on Twitter, check it out at 618_cowboy. But the other side, Meta, they recently posted their gameplay video for the Bored Ape Yacht Club metaverse. So I feel like there's a lot of hype behind this at this moment in time. Maybe not as much hype as I thought, but you know, I think ApeCoin nonetheless is going to be super hyped up. I think Bored Ape Yacht Club, I don't think it's going anywhere. So this could perform well throughout the bear market. I personally don't think so. But yeah, I wouldn't bank on any bullish technicals on altcoins playing out while we're in this kind of cycle. Daily EMA ribbons flip bearish at $13. So technically speaking, you could come up to $12. You could come up to $13, and you could get a rejection, and then that would be once again another bearish technical on ApeCoin. A lot of buying volume coming in, and it's a little bit of a shame that we don't have as big as a buying influx coming in today. It almost reminds me of when we saw this big buying volume when it got listed on Coinbase and Binance, and then what happened after that is we did not get continuation, or we did not get enough bullish continuation, and we kind of chopped sideways for a prolonged period of time before we went macro bullish. But you know, to the flip side, I think the market has very much changed since what we've seen in this uptrend. So you know, we really don't have a plethora of data to go off on ApeCoin, higher time frames especially. But you know, you come out to the weekly, and I think this is important to note as well, that the selling volume is definitely there. Lower time frames, the bulls are trying to step in today and yesterday, but higher time frames, bears are definitely in control. You can see we've capitulated below the lows at $9.20. That's not a good sign. You've come up to the lows and retested them today, and as you can see, you've not only had a huge amount of, well, a decent amount of selling volume. I don't want to say huge. We've not only had a decent amount of selling volume come in, we've not only topped out on these EMA ribbons. You can see the 4-hourly EMAs. Once again, we've set up another rejection, and I remember people getting exceptionally bullish on Ape back here, and all we did is have a big wick up. The wick got pushed down very quickly, and then we kind of just rolled out of the EMA ribbons and completely capitulated. And it kind of seems like that today, but you see it on the daily time frames instead. This is not a good sign when you can see it. I believe this is called an inverse hammer, where you've got this would be a hammer, and you've got the inverse of that, and that is a signal technically that buyers stepped in earlier on in the market and sellers completely pushed it all the way back down. So it doesn't necessarily look the best to me on ApeCoin at this moment in time. 4-hourly is very bearish. It seems like we're doing what we did here. You can see the bears have been in control on the squeeze momentum indicator, having bearish momentum to the downside ever since we topped out, and we tried to flip this, but all we did is flip the EMAs and we went back bearish. And you can see 4-hourly EMAs, we had a fake out. Well, I'm calling it a fake out because we went over to the green side, indicative that bulls are taking over of the lower time frames. But now you're once again seeing this kind of rounding down with a lack of volume stepping in to push this trend up. So I think we're somewhere like here, and I think Ape is about to have another big capitulation to the downside. Honestly, I think, like, don't quote me on this, I think if we're not going to get continuation on these altcoins coming into Saturday and Sunday, at the latest, I expect for a landslide to be happening in the altcoin market coming into Monday. I think a lot of these altcoins are going to start landsliding very soon. That's just my opinion. Once again, I could be wrong. We should probably check out the dollar. Dollar is still chopping to the side, still above the 1-hourly EMA ribbon, still above the 4-hourly EMA ribbon, still above your daily EMA ribbons. The dollar's exceptionally bullish, and the dollar's exceptionally bullish for a plethora of reasons, but mainly in the past couple of weeks because the Fed is increasing the interest rates by buying altcoins, and by quote-unquote buying the dip at this moment in time. you're not only betting against the markets, but you're betting against the Federal Reserve. And I do not think that your odds would be in your favor if you're betting against the Federal Reserve. You know, they're saying they're going to increase the interest rates by 50 basis points every month. And, you know, this was what happened when they increased the interest rates last week. And what happened to the altcoin market last week? Well, I don't need to tell you, if you were holding altcoins, you saw exactly what happened when the Fed increased the interest rates. Everything absolutely capitulated. I think this was the dead cat bounce as on the day, and then it capitulated. Maybe this was the dead cat bounce. I can't exactly remember what day it was on. I think it was a week ago, so it must have been here. And ever since then, we completely capitulated. So by buying altcoins at this moment in time, you're betting against the Fed, and it's proven that you probably should not do that. So ApeCoin, pretty much all time frames, is very, very bearish in my opinion. 1 hourly time frame we flip bullish, but I do not care about the 1 hourly because you can clearly see we've done a fake out in this exact impulse, which is very, very akin to the fake out on the squeeze one we had on the 4 hourly time frame. So I think it's interesting to look at things on different perspectives, different time frames. Every time frame I see though, Ape looks like it's heading down. Thanks bro, keep up the good work. Thank you my friend. Gala GMT, I covered Gala earlier, and also I've got a GMT video, a separate video on my channel today. So if you do want the GMT analysis, click on my YouTube and go check out the video. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing any more altcoins after this. We've been streaming for 2 hours. I'm about to head out, but I did say I would cover FitFi and ELON quickly before we do this. So coming into ELON, you can see as well, ELON is another one of those altcoins which is capitulating against both Bitcoin and the US dollar. It is up on the day, it's up 21%. You can see your oscillators, the money flow indicator, it seems like we are topping out and heading down. This is still a higher low, but still we're taking out your 786 at this moment in time. The RSI is heading down, indicative that there is weakness in the market. If we hop over, because I want to check it out on the oscillators as well. So if we check out ELON, on the daily time frame to start with, huge bearish momentum shift in the favor of the bears right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we did have a dead cat bounce at some point in time. I guess you could argue we've already had that dead cat bounce, maybe, because we've gone up pretty hard. But from what I can tell, myself included, ELON has a community of tight-knit degenerates behind it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were buying the dips even as the altcoin market is capitulating. But, you know, looking at this, it seems like you're below your most important 786 Fibonacci, and I just would not bet against the trend at this moment in time as we've broken down from this asymmetrical triangle. Daily EMA ribbons have flipped bearish. They have previously flipped bearish and it was a fake out, but we quickly turned back up after them after that happened, and we have not done that now. We just keep on dumping into them. 4 hourly EMA ribbons, you can also see this is a bad signal. You zoom out, you can see the 4 hourly EMA is pretty well defined. The downtrend, we never had a successful flip of the EMA ribbons. You might be thinking this was a successful flip. In my opinion, a successful flip is when you flip over the EMA ribbons. So this is your top point, right? This is where you get invalidated. You come down, you back test it. That is only 2 steps. The third step is you need to take out this invalidation point. And as you can see, we did the first 2. We broke above them, we flipped them, we bounced around, but we did not take out this high. So we've never had a successful retest and a breakout. Once again here, you can see, oh no, we did here. This was bullish, we back tested, broke above the invalidation point. Once again, that's like I'm saying, you've got a bullish uptrend confirmed at that point in time. At this moment in time, 4 hourly EMAs perfectly define the downtrend. Like I said, I would not be trying to fight the trend on this one. If we do flip them, so be it. Even if we do flip them bullish, like I said, the Bitcoin dominance is telling me that altcoins are about to get slaughtered. I've been posting this on my Twitter as well. You know, I'm not going to go, you know, screw it, I might as well go back to it. But we said this, I think on the 10th, like 3 days ago. We said on the 10th that basically altcoin holders are going to get slaughtered. That was 3 days ago, and in the past 3 days, altcoins have been absolutely capitulated, and I think it's going to get a lot worse. So Elon, it looks okay. It doesn't look okay in the lower time frames though. 4 hourly looks pretty brutal. So where have my oscillators gone? Oh, I switched it over, so here we go. So yeah, I think Elon is bearish. I really wouldn't be betting against this right now. And what's even more worrying is you can see, as you come up into the EMA ribbons, like the last time we did it, you can see bearish volume started to come in, and that was indicative that the bulls weren't going to step in and take over the trend. And what we're seeing now is we saw an increase up to the EMA ribbons, and now we're seeing I was seeing a big increase in volume at this moment in time, which is bearish volume as well, which is not good. This is indicative that we are probably going to roll over. Squeeze Mom is heading up in favor of the bulls, but it was heading up in favor of the bulls when we had this last retest. It was heading up in favor of the bulls when we had this last retest as well. I think it's more important to look at the Squeeze Mom on the daily time frame if you're expecting a macro flip. And right now it does kind of seem like the bears are in control, and every now and then we take a breather and once again come back in even more stronger, and the bears just step in and take everything out. So while you're below this 786, keep an eye on 616. You can see we perfectly wicked up to it and got rejected. We've now got sellers pushing the price down, just like we had sellers pushing the price down on this wick as well. This is very indicative to me that, you know, tomorrow or the next day we are about to roll down to lower price targets. Probably not as low as I drew it down there. I'm just kind of drawing random lines on a screen. But yeah, now we're going to finish on FitFi, and then I'm going to head out. So what do I think about SHIB? It's a dog crane with zero utility, but you can make money on it. So I like money. I would definitely trade it. Is it a good crypto? No, I would argue not. Are you asking me about what I think of the SHIB chart, or are you asking me about the fundamentals? Thank you. Do you think we will be in the bottoms? Do you think we will be in the bottom sooner since they raise interest rates? You said faster, so I'm not understanding what you're meaning. Do you think we will be in the bottom faster? I don't understand what you mean by that, but my take on the Fed increasing the interest rates is, if the Federal Reserve keeps on increasing the interest rates, then the cost of borrowing the dollar is going to increase. The cost of borrowing the dollar increasing means that less smart money in whales are going to borrow US dollars and then trade in the stock market, and then ergo that's going to mean less people are going to have money to trade in the crypto market. So the Fed increasing the interest rate is terrible for the markets. For example, why I say people borrow money and use that in the markets is because if you understand how debt works, if you understand how tax works, and if you understand how our current financial system works, then you know that you can borrow money, and borrowed money does not have tax. And why does borrowed money not have tax? Well, it's simply because debt is free, and debt is needed to keep running the economy. For example, if you're trapped on an island and there's only $10 in circulation, and you need to go to the central bank and you need to borrow $10. So there's only $10 in that entire economy, right? You've got $10 in the economy. What happens if you need to go to the central bank, or the central bank of that island, and say, hey, I need enough money to borrow to build a house? They're going to say, okay, we'll lend you $10, but you need to give us back $11. Well, how are you going to get $11 when there's only $10 on that island? Think about it for a second. The only way you can get $11 out of that island, after there only being 10, is for someone else to go and ask the central bank for money, so they can borrow more money, so the Fed can print more money. That is why debt is free. That's why debt is tax-free. That's why money is debt and money is tax-free, because the Fed loves it when you go and say, hey, can I borrow X amount of money? They absolutely love it. So the Fed increasing the interest rates is going to have horrible effects on the market. It means less people are going to borrow money, less people are going to use it to trade the stock markets, less people are going to trade the crypto markets, and it's going to have a horrible effect on, the economy is debatable. I think they do need to increase the interest rates if they want to save the economy, but I think the economy is too far-fetched to be saved. I do think we are going to enter at least a mini micro recession. I think it's long overdue. Tech stocks are well oversold, overbought rather. The dollar is well overvalued in my opinion. The stock market is well overvalued. That doesn't mean the dollar can't keep on going up if they keep on increasing the interest rate though. So we're going to wrap up, finish the video on FitFi. I went on a ramble about economics, my bad, I really do like economics. But nonetheless, let's finish off on FitFi and then I am going to head out for the day. So I'm not going to be posting any videos later. Like I said, I'm going to be heading out. This is why I did the live stream. So if we check out the daily on FitFi, we're actually down on the day, or are we on the weekly? Wow, it's already down on the day. That is a bad sign in my opinion. So everything else is bouncing. It looks like FitFi has already done with its bounce. Daily time frame, not much volume coming in, but we have bearish volume, meaning that not many people want to buy the dip. This is what I've been talking about on these move to earns. They are here to come. They're here to make people money, and then people will take profits and they will move on. And if you are holding FitFi for the long term, in my opinion, you are going to be exit liquidity for people who are taking profits. I either think FitFi or GMT is going to be the only move to earn after this entire bear cycle is done. I do not have high hopes on these move to earn surviving, mainly because the only way you make profit in FitFi or Green Metaverse token, let's say it in Green Metaverse token, because I imagine FitFi runs on similar Ponzi-nomics, but Green Metaverse token, I do know how it runs. So, for example, you've got Green Metaverse token, and on the Steppen app, they pay you Green Satoshi token. Now, how do they pay you Green Satoshi token? Because if I was a developer of an app, I could not just bring out an app. You know, for example, Fitbit, they're one of the biggest, wristwatch providers. Could you imagine if they started paying people for using Fitbit? They would be broke. They do not have the money to pay for rewards like that. So how are rewards paid out on these move to earns? Well, it's very, very simple. Exit liquidity. if you're given rewards from the Steppen app in Green Satoshi token form, that simply means that they are printing Green Satoshi token. They're expanding the supply of the token, and that simply means that the only way they're able to keep on providing the same amount of value or the same price by giving you these token rewards is that someone else has to come in after you and buy. Do you know what that's called? When if you get in first, then you're profiting, and all the people who come in underneath you, so let's say you're the first person to buy Green Satoshi token. You are not going to earn rewards unless two people come underneath you and also buy Green Satoshi token. What happens is then if two people come underneath you and put in $100 into the market cap, Steppen will use those funds to pay you out in terms of rewards. And then you might be wondering, well, how are the two people that just got in going to be able to, make money? Well, 3 people need to come underneath them, and then 5 people, and then 7. And then what shape of that do you have? You've got 1 person at the top, 2 people beneath it, 3 people underneath that. That is called a pyramid scheme. It is only supported, these move to earns are only supported by Ponzi-nomics and someone else buying more of it after you've got in. If we're about to enter a bear market, then I can guarantee you that people are not going to be running into these altcoins like they were before. And that means that you're not going to be earning the same rewards, and you're going to be stuck with pairs of shoes which are worth hundreds of US dollars. That is the only way how they're able to pay out rewards. There's literally no other way of doing it. But looking at FitFi looks like it's already losing most of its hype. It's already capitulated below the lows, and 4-hourly EMA ribbons are completely bearish at this moment in time. We've already flipped them. It looks like it's a done deal to me. We've retested them twice now. I would expect this to be, the final kick in the pants before we do move down to lower price targets. And I'm not a hater of these move to earn projects. I simply look at how they work, and I recognize that they're not built to stay. They're just simply not built to stay. I mean, there's a reason why you know, the Bitcoin network does not work the same as these. I mean, sure, you get miners that get paid out for validating transactions. They're providing a value and they're providing a service to the network. People who buy up the supply of green metaverse token and green Satoshi token, that does not provide any value to the network other than the value that is siphoned out of your money and given to people who are being given the rewards. So I do not think these move to earns are built to last the bear market. I could be wrong. We are going to see if we do enter a bear market, if any of these survive. I think they would be very, very hard pressed to survive a bear market. 1 hourly EMA ribbons have flipped bullish, but I think we've seen that the 1 hour absolutely works terrible on Fitfire. Yeah, you can see this, we were bearish here. This was a fake out. We flipped bearish here, and we flipped bearish as the bottom was in, and we reversed. That was a fake out. We flipped bearish here, and then we proceeded to pump. That was a fake out. We then flipped bullish before we flipped bearish, so that was another fake out. If we zoom out, have we got any more like this? So far, there's been 1, 2, 3 confirmed uptrends or downtrends that worked out on Fitfire, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that didn't work out. So I would say your odds are against your favor if you're hoping on the 1 hourly EMAs flipping bullish. In my opinion, they do not look bullish. It looks like we're about to head down beneath them, in my opinion. We're not having volume supporting this uptrend as we're flipping the EMA ribbons. We saw a teeny tiny bit. Now we're coming into the hour, we're getting selling volume, and I think this is going to bleed out into the rest of the markets. Looking at the dollar to wrap up things, I think the dollar still looks great. Higher time frames, the dollar looks amazing. While the dollar looks good, I would not be buying altcoins, like I keep on saying. As you can see, it looks like the dollar has found support on the hourly EMA ribbons. I would imagine the dollar would be breaking out at some point soon. You can see bearish momentum is already starting to subside on the squeeze mon. If the dollar starts to head up, the stock market is going to start to come down. If we come over to the hour on the stock market, you can see stock market is starting to M out and top into these EMA ribbons. 4 hourly, we didn't even make it back to the top of these EMA ribbons. So I do think these altcoins are going to start capitulating at some point in the next 72 hours. I am all in on Bitcoin for a reason. I've been telling you on all of my videos that I only want to be holding Bitcoin during this capitulation phase. Can you imagine how ugly it's going to get if Bitcoin re-breaks below 29,000 and closes a weekly candle below it? I can tell you we're going to be coming down to 22,000, and in my opinion, if we did come down to 22,000, Fitfire is going to absolutely capitulate to basically the levels that it minted at, if not, you know, maybe 1 cent, maybe slightly higher. But I would imagine that these move to earns are not built to survive a bear market for all the reasons that I said. So if you are new to move to earns, or if you are invested in move to earns and you just listen to me explain how these move to earn projects sustain being able to give people rewards, I hope that is an eye-opener for you, that this is not something that can be sustained forever, because once the hype goes away and there's no more people to buy the dip or keep on buying, then the rewards are going to be worth nada. I can tell you that for a fact. So yeah, I think we're going to wrap up the video now. I'm just going to read the comments just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and then I am going to wrap up the video. So no more video requests for me. I am going to be heading out. 2030, Bitcoin will surpass 300k. Bro, stop being bearish. We're going to be in the millions by then. I'm only joking. I think 300k would be a pretty good top. So MNS 2030, that's 6 years from now. It's not quite two Bitcoin halvings. Is it 2032? The next halving will come after that. So that every 4 years, the next one is going to be... Oh no, the next one is in 2024. So 4 years after that, it would be 2028. And then if we do enter a 1 year or 2 year bull market, then yeah, I think you're bang on the money, my friend. 300k. Bang on the money. I would have to agree with you. Quant, I love as well. Nice. I've had a lot of... questions about Quant, or maybe it was just you repeated over and over again, but I'll check out Quant more often if you guys do want me to continue checking it. I hope you're all in the Discord as well. I hope you all follow the Twitter as well, at 618_cowboy. Like I said, I'm just going to read through the messages before we do wrap this up. Where were we? So I think we've already gone to that. Quant, opinions on Doge. What do we think about Shib? So we've done that. Alu, I've never heard of that one before. Yo, we need more rambles in the future, not less. I appreciate that. At least some people want to hear it, I guess. But no, that's good. Hey, Sasuke in the chat. Sasuke Uchida, what's up, man? From part 1. So not the disabled one with one eye and one arm. So fair enough. Yo, we need more okay, no, we've already gone through that. Appreciate your updates. Thank you for that, Sasuke. Thank you very much, my friend. Always love to see some anime watchers in this chat. Yo, man, learning a lot. Thanks. I appreciate it, my friend. Glad that you're all tuning in. Glad you all like the content. That's what I'm here for. I love talking as a community. I mean, the best thing about making this YouTube was just making this community. I mean, it's so amazing talking to all of you. It's very, very fun. Thank you, Cowboy. You're welcome, James, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. Damn, I'm late. Don't worry though. I will be uploading this after after the live stream is done. So if you want, you can just drag your finger through the screen. Wait until I'm talking about a crypto that you want to hear about, because I went through pretty much everything today. Koti as well. I've had a bunch of requests on Koti. I used to hold Koti ages and ages and ages ago, like a year and a half ago or so. Yeah, haven't heard of it. I haven't heard much of it since then. So if you do have altcoin requests like recently Alu and Koti, I do recommend you go over to the Discord, go over to the altcoin requests, and yeah, just leave whatever suggestions you want me to cover. I do want to see, more than like 2 or 3 people backing you up. So if you do comment Koti in the altcoin requests, try and get some of your fellow brethren to back you up. Put it in the chat. Say, hey, who wants to see Koti? Like my comment if you do want to see that, because yeah, that's what I want to see. I don't want to cover an altcoin that only one person wants to see. No offense, but I'm sure you can imagine, I make like sometimes 10, 20, 30 altcoin videos a day. So, adding like a bunch of other altcoins on there is going to mean that I won't be able to cover other altcoins that other people want to see. So I want to make sure that I use my time as effectively as I can, so I can cover what the majority of people want to see. So if the majority of people want to see Koti, I have no problems covering that. But yeah, that's all I've got. Thanks, brother. Thank you for watching, Cozy. Thanks, Ali. Shouts out to everyone who watched the second stream. Hope you found some value in this. Hope I went through the chart that you wanted to go through. That's all I've got. Enjoy the night with the boys. Thank you very much, my friend. I definitely will. I hope you all have a good evening. That is all I've got for you. As always, everyone, Cowboy out. Peace.